Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Oh, it's going. I'm glad to be here. Glad to hang out with everybody and you get to see all these lovely people in chat, see everybody out there on Rumble, everybody over here on YouTube, and of course, see you, Price, ready to just chat about whatever it is we've got going tonight.
You know, the whole time that I was trying to figure out stuff that we would talk about today, every time I think about one thing, another thing happens. I feel like I couldn't get it all into the thumbnail because it was just more stuff keeps happening. But
Well, your Cracker Barrel Night Owl thing, I think we need to keep that around for a while. It's beautiful.
That's it. That's how that's our new logo. They don't even want that logo,
No,
even though
they
now
don't want it anymore. Yeah, we'll just
now they're doing a reverse. You saw now.
yeah, yeah, no. Well, it's funny because this morning, before my first class, I was just kind of hanging out, kind of waiting for some stuff, and I was checking some videos, and I saw a video from WDW Pro about how Cracker Barrel doubling down on all this stuff, and then by the end of the day, they're like, "No, we give up. We're backing out. We're gonna go back to the old stuff." It's like what?
We'll talk about it a bit more because I think the first thing. What was even the first thing? Trump fires the Fed governor.
Yeah, yeah. There was the Fed governor, Lisa Cook.
Yes,
He on Friday had said he was going to can her if she didn't resign, and then on was it Saturday or was it or no, or was it over the weekend or was it on Monday that she was fired?
she was fired, but now there's something else. She says, "I don't want to go. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah,
I'm
she
going to
says
sue
she's
you."
going to turn around and sue. Yeah, she's going to turn around and sue.
But from what I understand, if there's cause, then the president can fire her. And once he was able to expose that she kind of didn't give accurate information on those mortgage documents, then theoretically that could be cause. Now, I mean, the thing is that I don't know what people usually do, and maybe some people do things and nobody ever cares what they do. But if you're going to be in a position like that, where you're dealing with people with money and economic policies and you're supposed to be like the best of the best, for it to turn out that you're the type of person that just conjures up those kind of things, it's not a good look at all.
Oh, got muted there. Sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
no, it's not a good look at all. Yeah, and of course this does have to do with his firing of Lisa Cook was all about supposedly some mortgage fraud that took place in 2021. We keep seeing this; it keeps cropping up. Price. We've seen this with a number of different politicians in different places. You got to start to wonder how much this is happening with some of these ultra wealthy people who are buying houses in all these different states. The claim is that back in 2021, that Cook purchased homes in Georgia and Michigan, listing both as primary residences so that she could get discounts on her mortgage for those. Uh, well, guess what? You can't have primary residences in
no,
multiple different
obviously you
states.
can't.
So
To tell you that I think that this is the only person in the history of humanity that has done something like this, I would be lying to you if I told you this.
yeah,
But the thing is that if you're going to be in that position, you have to be the best. It can't be that that's what you do. That I do agree with. The other thing is, and there's another underlying thing here is, all those people when they thought he was going to run again, they went out of their way to find any kind of case against him. And a lot of those cases, and I say this, and I always like this position that I'm in, that I feel like I'm a more middle of the road type of guy. But when I saw all those things that they were putting on Trump, all those cases, I thought it was over the top and absurd. And now they were all saying, "Oh well, nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law." Yet at the same time, uh, they keep the same people that keep saying nobody's above the law seem to be doing either the exact same things that they accused him of, or in some cases worse. And I don't know. If nothing else, it really highlights a lot of hypocrisy.
yeah, it really does. I mean, we've recently seen there's the accusation against Letitia James for doing this kind of thing. Not the exact same thing, like claiming primary residence where they didn't have one, But Adam Schiff did. Adam did this exact same thing, claiming primary residence in a state in which he didn't live in. Why do we know he doesn't live there? Because that's not the state that he represents in the seat that he is elected to. So it couldn't possibly be his primary residence, or else he is elected in a state where he doesn't live. So, there's all kinds of stuff like this happening. It just seems ridiculous that, well, apparently there's just people just get away with this all the time, right? Or at least
I'm
wealthy people
sure.
do.
Listen, even the thing that they charged him with Trump, what did they say that he was like the worst person in the world? Because they claimed that a bank came and said, "Hey, these buildings, how much are they worth?" He said, "Oh, they're worth I don't know how many million of dollars." And then they said, "Well, he gave an assessment that was higher than what was the real assessment." This is a very what they had was such a flimsy thing. I think that maybe even what these guys are doing are actually worse than what they charged him with. But what I'm saying is that they kind of open the door to this type of pettiness. If you want to know something, when I zoom out and I see what's going on here, there's a part of me that doesn't feel great, and I'll tell you why. Because I feel like we've become so petty about every single thing. Maybe all these people are getting what they deserve, and maybe Trump is right in saying all this stuff to them. But what's going to happen after Trump? What's the political system going to look like moving forward? And I feel like all the time it just gets more extreme and more extreme. And where does it stop? Do you get what I'm saying? Now
No, I understand. Yeah.
tomorrow there'll be, I'm not saying tomorrow, but let's say one day there will be a Democrat in a position of power like that, and they're going to think to themselves, "Oh, let's start looking through all these documents and doing all this stuff." It's going to be this kind of lawfare more and more. I don't feel like lessons are being learned. I feel like all the things that are not good are just getting worse all the time, and that's regardless of the fact that I understand why Trump is doing what he's doing. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Sure. Yeah. I will just say that it was the Democrats that opened this can of
Oh, they
worms.
opened the door. They opened the door.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they've done a lot of stuff that was really wild over the past, maybe 4 to 8 years. There's a lot of stuff that went on there that I feel like each time they took an extra step that was a bit greedier than what was acceptable in politics, if you get what I'm saying.
Sure. Sure.
And at some point, once you become so greedy and you do all this stuff, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff even that they're paying for. I mean, most people don't remember this, but Tulsi Gabbard and RFK were actually Democrats, and they went through such efforts in ways that were actually not very legitimate to kind of sideline them and actually never even give them a chance to have a fair primary. That at the end they pushed them out, and I don't remember another time where Democrats basically became Republicans. It's not a common thing. I mean,
No,
yes,
it's not.
I think Ronald Reagan in his youth was a Democrat and then he became a Republican, but I'm just saying in general, this situation where people that in the past have talked about running for president as a Democrat just said, "You know what? We're going with the Republicans."
Mhm.
Just I it should be a sign. It should be a sign that something bad is happening with that party. But at the same time, I just don't like this extreme atmosphere, even though I don't necessarily disagree with Trump. I just think that I don't enjoy the extreme. Do you? I have a mixed feelings, if that makes any sense.
No, I totally get you. I get it. When you start to talk about politicians are using this and that and maybe little things that they've done, try and go after them and turn it into giant things and try and get them removed from office or turn things upside down, inside out, for to try and destroy people for various different offenses and stuff. You start to think like, oh well, if they're using it that way, what happens when things are on the other, when the shoe's on the other foot, right? What happens then? Now, do they get even more petty? Do they get even more ridiculous? Do they
Yes,
start to
yes.
say, oh, he had a jaywalking charge back in 1995, so
We're gonna see that.
he's he,
It's
he's not
coming.
he's not fit to serve as a senator because he jaywalked, right? I mean, this kind of thing has happened before. We have seen this sort of ridiculous, just, we're going to turn these things upside down, inside out, and try and make, a mountain out of a molehill. We've seen that before, but it feels more. nasty,
Yes, there's a
perhaps?
nasty feeling. But I can't argue with the facts. If I disconnect my feelings about everything I said to you right now, there's one thing I agree with. If you're going to sit there and you're the top authority when it comes to the economy, these rates, all that stuff, and you're in the position you're in, and you're doing all this kind of unethical, shady, whatever you want to. I don't know exactly the legalities,
Sure.
but whatever you're doing there is not something that somebody in your position should be doing. And the fact that she's in that position and doing that kind of stuff shows a lot about this person. Do you get what I mean? If
Mhm.
let's say even this is a strange way to explain it. Let's say I was this shady person, and tomorrow you told me you're in charge of like this very important thing. Well, at that point I would try to at least uh clean up my act, I guess.
Sure. Sure.
Like all these people, they so freely are going and attacking like him or other people about all this stuff, and at the end, they're doing the exact thing that they're blaming other people for.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just very hypocritical, and I also think that it's low class. Listen, you got fired, you got caught, you got fired. Just leave. What? Well, oh, I don't want to leave. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, shut up. Just you got your walking papers. It seems like you did something bad, and this isn't just some kind of rumor or hearsay or something. I think in that case, it's best just to walk. Also, I don't even know. Does this go to the Supreme Court? I would hope that the Supreme Court will just tell her to go. No.
Well, they have so far been pretty clear with some of the different things that have come down as far as Trump and Doge and some of these groups that have some of these different orders that have gone out saying start reductions in force, start eliminating these jobs, fire these people. So far, the Supreme Court has come down pretty clearly on the side of this is the executive. He is allowed to end positions. He is allowed to fire people. He is allowed to remove people from office, as it says in a lot of different, places within the federal government. People serve at the pleasure of the president. And so they've come down pretty clearly that, yeah, there's a lot of cases here where, yep, the president can remove someone from those jobs. Now, that's not the case for everything. Like with Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, there's certain rules about who's on this committee and where and whatever and certain things. Without us having some sort of actual cause for his removal, that's without cause we can't just dump him, we can't just make him disappear. But if they buy in to say this is cause for removal, then yeah, they're gonna fall on the side of he's the executive, these people serve at the pleasure of the president, and so yes, he can remove her. So I don't exactly know where that's going to go 100%, going forward, especially if whether they buy into whether this is reasonable cause or not for her termination. But so far, it seems like the Supreme Court has fallen pretty clearly on the side of the executive branch having the power to terminate people in various different levels of government. So yeah, we got
We
some rants and some super chats to get to.
Yes, we have a rant from Istophobos, a friend of the channel, and he's saying it's a variation of lying or stupid. She's either crooked or incompetent, or maybe both. Professor, how do you think they got to be ultra wealthy? By cheating. All Biden appointees seem to be crooks.
There's quite a few politicians and lifelong quote unquote civil servants who somehow end up leaving the service of our nation incredibly wealthy. And yeah, how does that happen? Well, it happens because they're cheating. It happens because they're breaking the rules. They're doing a variety of different things like granting favorable contracts to family members and friends, getting kickbacks. They're out there, uh, you know, doing essentially what would be insider trading because they know about regulations and things and when they're going to go into effect and what industries they're going to impact. They can go out and do those types of things because it doesn't fit under the current definitions of insider trading. So yeah, absolutely. They're out there cheating left and right all the time. And the thing about cheaters is the more they get away with it, the more emboldened they become and the more cheating they're going to do. It happens every time. It happens at every level. It happens with students. It happens with people in government. It happens with people in business. It happens all the time. The more cheating they can get away with, the more they're gonna do it, the more they think they're gonna be able to make it work going forward, and that's how we end up with something like Enron, in the business world. You know, they got away with one little thing. "Oh, we'll just change this one little thing in the books," and then the next quarter it was, "Well, it was okay if we did it that time. Let's, we'll cook the books this way this time around," and then it just snowballed. They kept cheating. They kept winning, at least in the short term,
Too
until
big to
all
fail. Too big to
until
fail.
until all of that cheating finally caught up with them. All of that stuff happened with Enron, and it collapsed, and it ruined not only the people at the top, but even more so, thousands of people who were working in that business, thousands of people who were invested in that business, just destroyed their lives, because they continually cheating on stuff. So, yeah, is it fair that, oh, well, everybody does it, cheats on their mortgage, and we're going to bust this person? I think yes. Any cheating, if they're breaking the rules, they should pay for it. And that goes for everybody.
I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of every single thing that maybe somebody misfiled a form or did something, but I think that let's just say, even like Estefobos said, it's incompetency, she's stupid, whatever it is. Either she's too stupid to be in this role, or she's smart and she's not telling the truth. And in any case, this isn't somebody that they're hiring to be like just a bartender. Not that even a bartender is hard work. I don't know if this lady could do it, but I'm just saying this is something where it's so important. You have to be the best of the best. This is not the kind of thing that you want on your record if you're in that position. There are certain positions that still, even if you did something that was kind of maybe gray area or whatever, maybe certain things, if you're a singer and it turned out that like years ago you once filled out a form wrong, I don't think anybody really cares. It's not that like they're thinking, wow, like I'll never
No.
be able to trust those notes that he's singing. But if you're the Fed governor, you can't just do that. And I think that that's really what the problem is, for me at least. Uh, I do have another. There's something else that somebody wrote here. We
Yeah,
have like a super chat
we got a super chat over on
from the dead
YouTube
man,
from the dead man. Yep.
and I am going to try to create a banner here. It is the Dead Man Price. What do you think of the remastered Free as a Bird? Now, if you're talking to the Beatles about the Beatles Free as a Bird,
Yes.
I didn't actually hear. Did they do a remastered version of it? Because initially that
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Initially, that's a song that years ago they took a cassette in which John Lennon was recording. Like he recorded it on a tape recorder on a cassette in the middle of the night or something, and the Beatles completed it and turned it into a song. I have to say that considering the technology that was available during those years that they did it, they did a fantastic job with it. Now, I guess they've remastered it. Do you know anything about this? I actually missed
So
this.
yeah, I had heard about this. So there's a book, Beatles anthology, right?
Right,
That
it was a CD. Back in the day, they had 3 parts to this anthology. It was a video, like, a TV whatever you want, a series with,
Mhm.
like, 8 episodes. By the way, intriguing. Those 8 episodes of the Beatles talking just, intriguing stuff. And
Mhm.
then, they had 3 CDs that complemented them, and each CD had, like, all these kind of outtakes and demo recordings and things like that of the Beatles' rarities, and at the beginning of each CD, there was supposed to be a song. The first song was supposed to be "Free as a Bird," and they used the John Lennon cassette that Yoko gave them. They completed the song and they released it. Then, the second one had "Real Love." Real Love, they did the same thing. They completed it. They released it. Now the third one was supposed to be that song, the one that they released recently. You know it's true. What's it called?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I know it's true. Na 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 na. You know.
Yeah, oh, I can't remember the name
Now
of
and
it.
then,
Yeah.
now and then, that's what
Now
it's
and
called.
then. That yes,
Okay,
that was it, that was
so
it.
sorry. So basically, the thing with Now and Then is, and this is an interesting story, they had that song and they started working on it with George Harrison, with Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney during those same sessions, but there was a noise that accompanied the recording, like, a hiss on
Mhm.
the cassette that was so annoying that they couldn't get rid of it with the technology that existed there. Then you couldn't just make the hiss disappear. Today you can do it easily. You couldn't do it then. So I guess somehow in the middle of all of this, George Harrison, in the middle of those recordings, legend has it that he said, "It's this is pure rubbish. We're not doing it," and got up and left, and that was it. They never went back to finishing it at that time, and for years they didn't do it, and he passed away. Then in recent years, Paul McCartney explored again the situation and saw that they could actually fix whatever they couldn't fix then. They could, with AI, remove all the noises, restore John's voice in the best possible way, and then they still had some of George's guitar work. He and Ringo, there was the original work they did, they added more work and they released the song. And I guess now I've heard that they're doing another anthology, which is kind of strange because the anthology is something that happened then. It's very weird that decades later there would be a fourth chapter or whatever it is. I assume that what you're all talking about is perhaps in this whole new anthology, they've
Yes.
remastered Free as a Bird. Did I
Yeah.
get it
So
right?
what they're doing is they're doing a 25th anniversary, re-release of the anthology,
Okay.
and they're gonna update it, adding some additional stuff, that's been recovered since then, using, some additional, like, AI methods and stuff like that to remaster some of the, like you mentioned, like with, Free as a Bird, there's a lot of noise and stuff in the recordings. Now they can go in and they can pull some of that out. They can remaster it in a little bit clearer way than they did before. So, due out in October, it looks like it's going to have a re-release of the book and the documentaries and the CD sets of all the music. Looks like it might also be available as a digital collection now. That you would be get in a lossless format, which would be cool. I'm sure lots of Beatles, people will be really excited about that. The ones that are really into collecting, stuff in the highest quality that they can get it. But it's going to have this re-release of the Beatles anthology, so it's not only is it going to include the original the original episodes, I guess it's going to have now another additional episode of the show or the documentary thing that they did, with some newer material in it that's been found since the 90s when that was compiled the first time around. So part of that is, yes, this remastered version of Free as a Bird. I actually have not. I'm not sure where to look. I've heard that it exists. I've seen the remaster that they did like 10 years ago. I'm wondering if that's the same. Surely it's not the same thing.
No, I don't
It's
think
got to
so.
be. They've got to have something different that they're talking about now.
I've been thinking about this recently. Those songs, "Free as a Bird" and the other one, the
Yeah. Now and then,
Real Love, that's the other one.
real love. Yeah.
Those 2, you could today fix things that were wrong even then. You could tell that they were really struggling to do those 2 songs, but by some kind of magic trick and with the assistance of, Jeff Lynne from, Electric Light Orchestra, they somehow, I think it's Electric Light Orchestra. In any case, Jeff Lynne somehow managed to clean up that mess as best as he could, and it's almost workable. But if you really listen, there are some issues. Now, if you're saying that they managed to correct those issues, I'm kind of excited to hear it because that's a case where, in that one instance, I wouldn't mind if they tidied it up a bit.
Yeah, we've got a lot of amazing new stuff, and it doesn't, when a lot of people start to look at, oh well, we're restoring music with AI and stuff. They look at it necessarily, and I don't think it's a bad assumption to say, "Oh, it's gonna sort of create stuff that wasn't there," right?
No, it's
But
not gonna create anything. It's not
it doesn't always have to do that. You can use it to analyze, to look at the signal and say, "Hey, here's this regular noise that we have. We can go in and there's ways that we can recognize that noise, and we can go into the waveform that we have and actually correct the waveform
I'm
to
totally for it.
remove that noise."
Have
That kind of thing, I'm totally for that,
I
right?
have
I'm
no
totally
issue.
for that.
I've actually in the past I tried doing that with an old song that I recorded, and I tried going in and splitting it up with one of those things that splits it up into different instruments and things. Tried to somehow fix some things. I guess I wasn't able to do it because maybe I'm just not good enough to fix it. At the end of the day, it wasn't that important. I'm not John Lennon, so it's not really important anyways. Just something that I played around with. I have no issues. If I was able to fix what I needed to fix there, I would have done it, and I would have happily done it. I don't have any moral or ethical obligations here. The dead man says it wasn't that George thought the song was bad, just the recording was bad. Of course. And I think that his wife later, now when this song came out a year ago or whenever it was, George Harrison's wife went and she said, "Hey, George never meant that the song was rubbish. He meant that the recording was rubbish." And I believe that. I mean, I can totally see it. They're sitting there with some old. The funny thing about those tapes of John Lennon, you have these tapes of John Lennon is sitting in the middle of the night with his piano, probably drank like a bottle of whiskey or something, and he's like la la la, and just like doing whatever he's doing. There's a whole different vibe to you sitting at night in the middle of the night after a party or something and playing piano and singing into a tape recorder than if you're going to the studio and doing a professional recording. And really, uh, having those even recordings that way isn't doing full justice to John to begin with, but I do feel that they handled it very tastefully. So hopefully it'll sound okay. And the dead man, you 100% got your the most out of your 4.99 super chat. I think we went on all in here.
Yeah, and I did just real quickly to wrap up. We can share. You can share my screen here. So we do have this item. But yeah, there we go. So these are being offered by the official Beatles store. You've got the LP versions as well as the CD versions. Of this. It doesn't appear to have lossless digital somewhere, but maybe that's available somewhere else. But yeah, you've got all of this in here, and you can see as they talk about new 2025 mixes of Free as a Bird and Real Love. So yeah, they've got something they've gone in and done some remastering probably using some AI tools and stuff to remove a lot of that the noise and stuff from those tracks so that we can
I'm going to tell you
get a
something.
clearer version of that. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here, and yeah, it is as it says here right here at the end of the disc, Free as a Bird, Real Love, both
Oh
in
yeah, I got it.
2025 mix
It
as well
makes
as now
sense.
in
I
that.
just I
So
hope they do it justice. If they can do
yeah,
something good, I'll be happy. In
absolutely.
in any case, I'm a real sucker for this kind of stuff, and as much as all these prices that you said annoyed me, I'm gonna buy some variation of this. I
Well,
what
this
am I gonna
the
do?
8 CD box set, 130, you're getting 8 CDs, you're getting the documentaries, you're getting new material, you're getting a book.
I'm a
Honestly,
complete
that's
sucker, and I'm gonna probably
that's
buy it. I'm gonna
that's
buy it because 'cause I'm a
honestly
dumb sucker, and that's what
I'm
I
in
do.
no, no, I'm enabling your price. I think this is a good purchase for somebody who loves the Beatles, loves their music and the history of it and everything. 129, $130, that's a totally legit purchase. Now,
I
I
am
will
the
say, I think I need to buy this right here, the Beatles Trivial Pursuit, and then we can have a game where I see how good Price is with his actual Beatles trivia.
well, I'm relatively good, but I don't know that I don't know if I could beat it every single question, but we'll see what we can do. In any case, back to whatever it is that we were discussing, because this was a complete detour. I don't know how we got here. Oh, it was the super chat. Well, thank you for that super chat. Now, going back to
Sold out. Oh, that's not fair.
we were talking about, there was another thing I wanted to tell you. So you had all this kind of DC stuff that he was cleaning up DC, and everybody was upset, and they wanted to do protests and all this kind of BLM stuff. It was so crazy what I was looking at. And now, I don't know, I've been seeing more and more videos from residents of DC saying that they like what he's doing. Did you see that by any chance?
I've seen a few different things here and there. I'm not sure which ones you've seen, but yeah, there's. there's quite a few people who are actually totally okay
Here,
with
there.
everything that's going on.
I thought this was interesting. Let me see if I can share it. Give me 1 second. Uh, Only the best technology here at the Night Owl. Okay, it shared it, right?
Yes.
So
Not hearing. There we
Trump
go.
has not even had control over Washington, D.C. for 30 days. And I have on my For You page video after video showing D.C., specifically Union Station, and how clean and safe it is. People don't understand how big of a deal it is, specifically for Union Station, because there is a bridge, whether it's the bypass, it's either 95, 395, or 495, where the homeless, as well as people who are abusing drugs, as well as the drug dealers, they just squat. It's clean, it's all gone. This was also an underpass bridge where people would throw their wastes. So you would drive on the main road, and to the left and right of you is nothing but trash. It's all clean. People don't understand how big of a deal this is, because the Capitol is right there within like a 6 or 7 minute walk. And then also local residents, they did not like walking there, whether in the daytime or the evening. Some people would take taxis just to avoid any type of encounters. And people have been talking about cleaning this up for a decade. And you mean to tell me President Trump hasn't even had control for 30 days and he cleaned it all up?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and then there were other people. I don't know. How did I get to this? What is this? This must have amused me, although I don't know what it is. I don't know why this amused me. People do the weirdest things now. Hold on. This is another
Well,
one.
I'm glad they're cracking down on crime. That's all I can say.
I feel a lot safer, so I'm actually really happy.
I feel like the nation's finally becoming safe again with this, so it's nice that he has our backs and he's protecting us.
Occasionally we would have people come in and guys trying to come in and grab things off the shelf and run. That I'm not afraid of anymore.
Positive effect of it is decreasing crime. Yeah, I do feel safer walking the streets when they're around.
Well, I'm glad they're cracking down on crime. That's all I can say.
So that's people now saying that they're happy. This was maybe another
not
one.
Benefiting us. Yeah, you cannot tell me this is not benefiting us. It's definitely doing what it's supposed to do. I don't care who versus who, what they mean by what. Baby, it's clean and beautiful, like how we like. Yeah, you can.
People are just going out and filming these videos, and even this, that the National Guard are there. Teenagers are coming to talk to them. It's not. It turns out that there were, people there that wanted to cause a mess, and those people are now not there, and suddenly all the other people seem really happy.
Turns out that maybe it really was as awful as some people were saying.
Right. And then you still have these weirdos that they're like free DC. What do these people? A lot of them are I listen, I don't like to dwell on people's skin color, but these look like just a bunch of liberals from I don't know if to say liberal white ladies or whatever you want to call them. They're walking around, free this, free that. Meanwhile, they just talk to some.
This looks like a cross between a monkeypox vaccine line and the Starbucks grand opening. They are the ones talking about what Trump is doing is racist. Where are the people who you say Trump is hurting? Where are they in your protest? Hey, let's play Where's Waldo? Find the black people in this crowd. Where's Walmartavius at? Why aren't they there? Because they don't agree with y'all.
What do you guys think about the feds coming here to Washington, D.C.?
I love it. I wish it was more.
I enjoy having extra security. I think it's a good thing.
It's a good thing because it actually reinforces the fact that America is secure, safe, stable.
They don't agree with you guys. They need to go back home. Get back on 95 or whatever you got to do and return. Return to Greater Maryland. Return to the Eastern Shore. Return to Dundalk. Go back there, okay?
It's interesting. I think that the what we're seeing now.
Hmm. Yeah, and now he's a lot of people now very controversially, he's saying that he's going to be doing this in other cities as well.
The thing
Trump
is,
says,
though,
"Yeah, I'm going to go out and send troops to other towns to help clean those up as well."
the
So
thing is, though, I know he could do it with DC because that's a
yeah,
specific special place. The question is, could he actually do it anywhere else? And that's the part that I don't even know, even if he wanted to, if he could do it.
yeah, there's definitely going to be some questions when it comes to like, oh, let's deploy the let's deploy troops into inner city Chicago or something like that, or into New York, when you're not actually having cooperation with the state government. They're asking for that kind of deployment, asking for that kind of help. It was one thing, and I will say completely legitimate thing, for him to say, "Look, there's all these crazy protests, there's all these attacks on ICE and everything going on in LA and these areas in California. I'm going to send the National Guard there." But their job is going to be pretty straightforward. They are going to be protecting federal property, federal buildings, federal employees. That's their job. They're not walking the streets arresting people. They're not out there, busting up riots or whatever, unless they're on federal property, right out in front of the building. They are going to be protecting this federal property and the employees inside. And so that was a very specific task that you could say, yes, he technically does have the control over the military, for him to go do that. But to say, "Oh, I'm just gonna send the National Guard into Chicago. I'm gonna go send them down into, Harlem or something in New York." That's very different. That's a
I have
that's
a
a
feeling that
very different thing.
some of these towns would welcome him in with open arms. These things, but I don't know how easy it is for him to do it.
I think that there are, Yaitis says, could be invited by a GOP governor. Yeah, there could be some of these cities that are real crap holes that are in, states that are controlled by a GOP governor, and the GOP governor can say, "Yeah, just come on in, let's go." I was going to mention real quick. I mean, I know we moved on from the Beatles thing, but I saw after we were talking about it, Phantom Insider, Insider, Phantom Outsider. I just turned you into an insider.
He's an insider and an outsider.
Phantom Outsider, always a font of knowledge, says that Tom actually joined Mark D with a C on the show, on one of their shows of the day, and they were listening to sections of that new remastered Beatles track, and said that they had removed some of the background noise and they had cleaned up Lennon's audio so you could hear him a little more clearly. So that sounds like what we were talking about.
I
So,
don't have an issue with that as long as they were able to still stay true to the essence of what he did and they just tidied it up. Even so, I will tell you that it's sort of like the other Beatles. They're like in top form when they recorded those tracks. It was in the early '90s or whatever it was. Meanwhile, John Lennon himself, he did this, like I said, probably after a few cocktails or something at his home on the piano. It's not the same thing. If they would have told him, now you're going to the studio and you're seriously recording these songs, he would have given you a better performance. Even so, because he's John Lennon, it's still legit. But I still think that if he would have known that somebody's actually recording him, he would have done. I know even for myself, and I'm not John Lennon, but I'm saying I know the difference. I've had situations before where I've had an idea, and then I took a little, even on my cell phone. Sometimes I'll put a cell phone, I'll go next to a keyboard, I'll sit there and just play a few chords, I'll sing something, and I'll be like, okay, this is a cool idea. Maybe sometime I want to do something with it. And when I do that, I'm not thinking to myself, oh, this is an official recording. It's really relaxed. And most of the time, thinking about it now, I don't think you can take many of these recordings seriously and then turn them into a real recording of sorts. So the fact that they were able to do this is very nice, but I do feel like it's always, we didn't get the full Lennon on these things, if you know what I mean.
mhm.
But none of that is important. Kayla Levine asks,
Yeah.
Price of Reason, what is your take on Trump making burning the flag illegal? I saw something about that today. That now he's like, if you burn the flag, you go to jail for 10 years. Did you see something like that, Professor? The professor is so overwhelmed by what I said that he had to disappear, and hopefully he'll be back with us soon. But in any case, I saw that. Generally speaking, again, it's a sort of mixed feeling situation. I don't like seeing people burn an American flag. I personally, when I see it, it annoys me, and it's something that I don't like. Uh, I'm trying to think if part of freedom of expression includes that you can burn the flag or not. Maybe it does. I personally, I don't like seeing people burning flags, but I don't know what the right and wrong thing is here. Professor, what do you think? Oh, well, it's definitely an interesting topic. I agree, Professor. And I have a feeling the professor, there's something crashed there with his internet or something.
Can you hear me?
And no, yeah, I heard you for a second.
Yeah, so yeah, it's messing with my audio again. I don't know what's going on.
It's
So
so
yeah,
do you get
I had read about and seen something about this. I believe it was just a year for burning the flag, and there were also some other conditions that were tied to it. But essentially, like saying that that I think the way that it was worded, it was essentially like you were doing the burning of the flag for the purposes of like starting a riot or something. Like I don't know. I can't remember the actual wording of it. I have to try and look it up. But yeah, the whole burning the flag thing, I don't know. I really don't know about this, because if you actually go back and you look at the case law on this, you go back, a little ways, and we went through all of this, and they went all the way up through the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said no, this act is it's a type of protected speech, although it's not speech. It's a protected form of protest, essentially, right? And
I don't like
so
it at all. Don't get me
no,
wrong.
I don't. I don't like it at
dislike
all.
it.
Don't.
I dislike it very much when I
Yeah,
see it, but I just wonder if it's allowed or not, even if it's something that I don't like. Do you get what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
And it's and that is always the test when it comes to free speech. If you are going to be someone who stands on a principle of free speech, that means you sometimes are going to have to support speech. You're sometimes going to have to support actions that you don't like. In the in the support of free speech, you have to support that someone else has something to say that is nasty, that is awful, that you don't want to hear, you don't like to hear, you don't like people to say, you don't like people to do. You have to support that they have the right to do that. So I absolutely, I think that burning the American flag is disgusting, especially when it comes to Americans burning the American flag. It's a symbol not only of our country, it's a symbol that thousands of veterans have fought and died under. I think it's incredibly disrespectful and disgusting to burn the American flag in that type of protest. As far as should that be allowed, again, the Supreme Court has said this is this is technically a type of protected speech. As disgusting as it might be, as revolting as it might be to you and your sensibilities, it's a type of protected speech. So, whether or not Trump's executive order is something that is going to be allowed to stand, I don't know. We will have to wait and see. It's possible that he'll be able to do something where it's simply where it says that kind of rule will stand on federal lands, right? If it's federal land, if it's DC, if it's national parks, something like that. That yes, doing that act in that place, the federal government can then do something, right? But as far as being able to say that this is now going to be the law of the land everywhere just because uh, you wrote this executive order, now nobody can burn the American flag anywhere or they go to jail. I don't know how well that's going to survive the judicial challenges that are most necessarily going to come up. for
You
it.
know,
You
there's
know,
also another thing,
very soon.
especially when you see people burning it and then they say the "D to America"
Yeah.
slogans and stuff like that. That feels like maybe in a situation like that, that would make a little more sense to me because in that point, if you're if it's one of those situations where it's an organized protest of people that want to, you know, take down America or something like that, I think that in that case, within that context, that burning becomes more
Yeah.
problematic.
And
You get
some
what I'm trying to
people
say?
in the chat are saying a dead man is sort of piping in Phantom Outsider saying essentially that there are things that with burning the flag that can get you in trouble. Then one is in burning that flag, which incites a riot. Like, of course, inciting a riot is also just a problem in and of itself. So if burning the flag is part of that, well, that's you're going to get in trouble. Burning someone else's flag, a flag that is not yours. So if you were, in a protest, you stole someone's flag from them and began burning that would be destruction of private property. That would not be okay. And then if it causes some sort of a fire hazard, that is also a problem. So I think all of those things are actually true right now, not necessarily part of what's happening with
But by
Trump's
the way,
executive
quick
order.
note here for anybody. First of all, if you're watching on Rumble, Rumble is the headquarters for the Night Owl. That's our home base. If you're watching on the Rumble app and you haven't signed up yet, you're just kind of watching through the app, you should definitely sign up because you could sign up for free. Sign up for a free account. And then if you've already signed up, you should also follow us. And that way you'll know when we do these kind of late night streams. So you should do that if you haven't done that already. If you're on any other platform, if you haven't followed us, subscribed, or whatever it is, you should do that as well. And I just wanted to put that out there. Now, yeah, I mean, again, it's a complicated issue, and I think one of the reasons why it's a bit complicated is that in recent years we've seen so many kind of people with bad intentions do this kind of flag burning or disrespect or want harm to come to America. Even people that live here that are so stupid that they think that harming their own country is good. We've seen a lot of that stupidity. So it's not that I don't understand why this is an issue and why some people are sick and tired of it and they don't want to see people burning flags in general. And I generally don't like people burning flags. So I'm in agreement. But with all of that being said, I think that if there isn't a situation that it's somebody that's trying to harm America and it's just some people protesting whatever and doing it, as much as, like you said, I thought it was disgusting, maybe it's protected. But time will tell what'll happen. Definitely, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's gonna be interesting to see exactly where this executive order goes moving forward.
Marla Sharondoft, I just want you to know she's a friend of the channel. She's the sister of Tara Strong, the voice actress, who, if you've ever watched an animated show anywhere about anything, you've probably heard Tara Strong's voice. And she's one of the top people in her field. Her sister Marla is also a very nice person. She's always been very supportive of what we do here. And there's been cases of people trying to kind of cyberbully her and her sister. In some cases, even threats and things like that. It's very difficult on the internet to do anything about it sometimes, and I can understand why she'd be concerned.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are weirdos out there. There are people who I don't know, for whatever reason, think it's their right to start interfering in other people's lives and inserting themselves into other people's relationships and so on. And that is just so deeply unpleasant, Marla. We all hope that some of that is remedied at some time in the future. Unfortunately, it's the internet, man. Jeez.
It's difficult.
It's so hard to stop that kind of stuff. You can shut down people's accounts. They go and open new ones. They go underground for a little while and then pop back up. It's really frustrating. And I know I can speak for Price and myself both that we're really sorry that you, Marla, and your family have to deal with that stuff.
I also understand. Listen, I've had situations that sometimes people I even find a DM. I've had terrible DMs sent to me. I don't share them, and I don't really. It's at this point I know that happens sometimes, but Marla isn't sitting around doing streams and talking to people and doing that. She's just kind of minding her own business, and to have somebody kind of target her and her family, it's never good. I don't know what you do in a situation like that. I know that she tried doing this petition, she tried alerting, but sometimes you have a situation where somebody opens, let's say, an account on YouTube or X or whatever it is, says a bunch of bad stuff, then you report it, they close it or whatever they do, and then he comes back in another form. He invents a new identity and comes back somewhere else. So it's really really difficult, and I'm sorry that that's happening to you and your family, Marla. I want to say that as well. But what else did we have? We had the Cracker Barrel crisis continues. So this has been wild. This has been wild. First of all, they kind of seemed to go the Bud Light route initially. They didn't like their logo. They wanted all their restaurants to look like this kind of modern, sleek. I don't know what it is, like this kind of. I can't even explain it. They changed everything about it. The only thing that had kind of character with this Cracker Barrel, they wanted it all gone, and they spent a lot of money in this rebranding. And at the end, they released it, and there was an immediate backlash to it. And initially, basically, the CEO or whatever, they sent some message and they said, or not from the CEO, just they released a message saying that they're definitely listening to customers and they're going to make sure that Cracker Barrel still has their own character and blah, blah, blah. But they didn't really make any changes. They were just kind of sort of apologizing and doing nothing. But then today, just when it looked like they weren't going to budge and their CEO was going out and saying, no, so many people have told me how much they love this rebrand. It's the best thing that ever happened. Today, two things happened. First of all, Trump weighed in on this, and he said that. What do you remember that? I think he wrote it on Truth Social or one of those.
Yeah,
things.
it was on Truth Social. So I don't. I am not over there, but
let me see for a second. I'm gonna find this right now. Here, this is it. I'm gonna share it. I think that this started before what happened next, but he said Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo. Admit a mistake based on customer response, the ultimate poll, and manage the company better than ever before. They got $1 billion worth of free publicity, and if they play their cards right, very tricky to do, but a great opportunity. Have a major news conference today. Make Cracker Barrel a winner again. Remember, in just a short period of time, I made the United States of America the hottest country anywhere in the world. 1 year ago, it was dead. Good luck. Well, he's certainly very Donald Trump in this post.
It's the hottest country in the world.
But then what happened is that they suddenly announced, like they backtracked, right?
Yeah. I was looking for somewhere to find
Here, this is
post.
it. Cracker Barrel reverses logo amid backlash fury, and I think that they released a statement here. We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain. At Cracker Barrel, it's always been and always will be about serving up delicious food, warm welcomes, and the kind of country hospitality that feels like family. As a proud American institution, our 70,000 hardworking employees look forward to welcome you to our table soon. So this is a very interesting development that we don't usually see this in the modern era, that they're just like, okay, we made a mistake, we did something stupid here, and we'll go back to doing, the logos the way it was, we'll back off. I also think that they mentioned the 70,000 hardworking employees as sort of something to psychologically plant in your mind that if you're boycotting them, you're basically damaging their work staff.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't want those 70,000 people to lose their jobs, but I also think that they're kind of weasels, Cracker Barrel at the same time. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like they know that they messed up, and they're just trying. They're like, listen, we got 70,000 employees here. You don't want to Bud Light us, right? Here, we'll put back the logo. You're the guy with the barrel. He's back, and we got 70,000 employees. Don't stop coming to eat at a restaurant. Somebody said that they spent so much money on this rebranding. I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars. Somebody said 700 million. I don't know. But all I can say is that imagine if they would have just taken that money and improved the food, which seems like most of the complaints that I hear from people. I don't really have a Cracker Barrel next to me, so I can't really evaluate this. But anybody that does go to it, and I think maybe even you mentioned this, and you can maybe give me more information on it. It's actually the food quality that could be improved. All the rest, I don't think anybody had an issue with.
Yeah, the logo was the least of the issues. The store has been struggling for a long time. They've consistently been lowering the quality of their food. Prices have been going up. It's all been about making things cheaper, not making things better. And so, yeah, it's not been in good shape. I mean, the share price has been dropping ever since ever since COVID. It just took a serious spike when they announced some of these redesigns, and I don't know how much of this they're actually backing off of. They said they're not going to use the new logo. I don't know how much of the say the new redesign, uh, the new redesign in the stores that they're going to get rid of. I'm not sure how much of this new menu they're going to get rid of. Right? Uh, those are really the problem. Like if you really look at the store, like they're getting rid of so a lot of their more popular items. They're replacing it with healthier options. If you are going to Cracker Barrel for healthy options, you've missed the boat. There's no reason to be there. Uh, so um, it's really strange. And then that redesign of the restaurant, we saw that together. We were talking about that.
It looked terrible. It looked
It's
terrible.
awful.
Awful.
Painting all the walls white and sterile and putting in those cheap, stupid booths on the walls and the cheap tables. It looks terrible. So it's yeah. How much of this they're actually going to back off of? I'm not buying it yet. I'm really not. They spent $700 million on this rebranding effort, including not just the logo, but also all the other stuff that's going into actually redesigning the stores and redesigning the menus, everything else there. So
We got
only time is really going to tell what we're
okay. We got
what
a
they're
few
actually gonna
things
back
going
off.
on here. We've
Yeah,
got
we got some super chats, and
super
yeah, we
chats.
got
First of all, ABF Alec Baldwin's finger. He's great. He's a great guy. If you haven't checked out
yeah.
his channel, really like that guy and what he does. He's saying that it's an Irwin raid, so that means Nerd Wars
Yes,
sent some people
we
over
got a
here.
raid from Nerd Wars.
Irwin is also doing some
Thanks,
great
Irwin.
stuff. He just launched a new channel that he's doing with some gaming stuff. He did a really cool video that you could tell he invested a lot of effort in. Those guys are great. I really like them. So make sure you check out what they do. And thank you. Yeah. Oh, and Irwin's sentient potato. No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, sorry,
I,
Sean.
I I liked what Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers was writing here. He wrote, "Now fire CEO and we'll all come back." I mean, this CEO just looks like in the modern era. Like if you wanted in the dictionary, you want to look at that kind of woke, delusional CEO. This lady just is the embodiment of that. I don't. I mean, I'm sure that there's other factors that played in here, that it's not just this lady that all the trouble is because of her, but she certainly didn't help the situation. And I think she mishandled it as well, personally. I wonder how long she'll survive there. I have to wonder. I saw that also
Probably for a while.
Asmongold, another big win for gamers. I mean, I don't know if necessarily specifically gamers.
I don't know about that.
It's a win for people. I don't think it's a win or people that don't want these kind of woke reimaginings or whatever it is. I think part of the reason people got annoyed here is that under the guise of, hey, let's make everything so modern and slick and nice, that at the end there was something about this old country thing that it seemed quote unquote offensive, and that's why they were removing it. But they were trying to find a clever way to do it. And I think that at this point, at this year that we're at right now, people are just too too clever for that. Everybody already sees these things from miles away. If they would have done it 10 years ago, I think most people probably wouldn't have noticed. Do you get what I'm saying? They could have gotten away with this much quietly years ago, but at this moment in time, anybody that pulls something that's even perceived as a Bud Light type of move it's not going to end well for that company.
No, it's not.
And then I see Smash JT was saying, "What do you have to say about the bold-faced lie she told on GMA about how people love the redesign?" Yeah, she did do all of that. Listen, I don't know this lady. She seems really annoying, and she seems like the wrong choice for this role. And sometimes when you make a mistake, then something has to happen. Maybe there's other companies out there that she'd be a good CEO for. I have a feeling that Cracker Barrel maybe needs somebody else. If I were Cracker Barrel now, I try to find like a real Southern guy now. Some guy who's like a serious businessman, Southern guy that really understands the culture and what this restaurant is supposed to be, and try to sort of put an emphasis on the things that people actually like about it and improving the food. And whatever they've been doing here, this is all wrong, I think. Even without involving the emotions. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, who was complaining about the Cracker Barrel logo? No one. Yeah, I mean, basically, it's not that anybody was complaining about it. It's just it felt like this was another one of those cases where they thought that there was something that they seemed kind of offensive and they wanted to remove it, and I think that it rubbed people the wrong way. I actually think it was stupid when they removed Aunt Jemima from Aunt Jemima, or Uncle Ben from Uncle Ben, or any of those things, or that Lando Lakes lady from the Lando Lakes butter. If anything, I know this is going to sound crazy. If anything, I thought that shows something about our history and our culture in a positive way, that you're going and seeing all these products that are staples in your supermarket, and each one had a different person people of different backgrounds on it. I didn't think that seeing a Native American woman, I didn't think that was offensive. I thought that was fine. I didn't think that if there was maple syrup and you saw Aunt Jemima, which in the later years they basically, if you saw the way she was designed, it's a lady. That's her syrup. I really don't know. I think that they thought about this way too much. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, it's just one more case of what we typically see with with the woke, the ultra liberal left, right? Where it's a bunch of people getting offended on behalf of somebody else. That's all it ever is. It's usually white liberal women being offended over something that they're like, well, isn't that offensive to black people? Isn't that offensive to immigrants? Isn't that offensive to and so they just turn these things that were never actually offensive. They take them and they blow them up into these ridiculous issues. Oh, look, it's offensive that there's someone named Uncle Ben. Don't you know that uncle was a racist term that was used for black men back in the day? Don't you know that aunt was a really offensive term that was used for black women, that to demean them? And
But the thing is, first of all, and yes, I agree, those were the arguments. But today, they're not offensive at all. When I was a
No.
kid and I went to the supermarket, I thought two things. One, I thought that it was Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben because they were presenting them as members of your family. So, if anything, that was a positive representation. Also, over the years, I think that the graphics and how they presented them wasn't anything that you'd think, oh, you remember what happened in 1865? You didn't think about any of that stuff. They were just characters on products, and I thought they were supposed to be like family. And when I was a kid, I actually thought that Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima were a couple. That's what I thought as a kid when I was in the supermarket, because if one's the uncle and one's the aunt, I thought that the products were connected, and it's as if they're like a couple. That's what I thought to myself as a kid. And I thought nothing of all this other stuff. So at the end, it was people reading way too much into this, doing stupid things, in my opinion, and I don't think that they helped anybody. It's an overcorrection that's just absurd and stupid. And the one thing I'll say is when all of that was happening, I explained that it was stupid amidst all the kind of BLM, whatever was going on, that they were changing all this stuff. I said, this is really, really dumb. And what I said then aged very well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, I usually, I'm going to tell you the truth, Professor. Many times, if you look at my tweets, you go back a few years, you look at my tweets, I am usually, when something is happening in real time, like 5 seconds after it happens, my take is usually really kind of solid, very, very, I don't just go with emotions and stuff. I really give a really decent explanation. And years later, I look at it and I'm like, wow, like you really, you did it. There aren't enough people to compliment me, so I look at my old tweets once in a blue moon and I compliment myself, which is strange in and of itself, I know. Tim Hayes says, I thought they were a couple when I was a kid as well. Yeah, I mean, what else would you think? You're walking through the supermarket. One is Aunt Jemima, the other one is Uncle Ben, and you're thinking, well, they must be together, you know? That's what I thought to myself. And it wasn't even anything bad. I also don't know. I thought maybe when you're a kid, you don't really understand all of this. You think maybe it's their company. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Uncle Ben is like the expert in rice, and Aunt Jemima is like the expert in the syrup. This is what I thought when I was a kid in the supermarket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Denovia says our country's government is beyond repair. That is probably true. I don't disagree. In
Oh,
any
I don't
case,
know about that, but it's definitely in a bad spot. Yeah, we've got a lot of very disingenuous people who have been put into a variety of different positions, and hopefully, well, would be great if a lot of what Trump is doing and clearing out a variety of different agencies, removing people, that is going to help in the long run. We definitely don't need all of those, deep state employees that have been around for ages, drawing checks and doing no work other than ensuring that various different ideologies and certain politicians are rewarded for it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think we got some super chats and some Rumble rants to get to, right?
oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. Yes, I was going to do that, and then we got distracted by who knows what. Let's first of all, let me try to share this screen. Oh, you know what? I'll do this. Some very big technology happening here at Price of Reason Studios. I hope you're prepared for this. Okay. I think I got it. So now we're going to share the super chats. I hope I didn't miss a Rumble rant, but let's see. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. It wasn't that good technology. Here, I think now. So, $4.99. Tom talked about it on Mead, and I kept thinking that price should have been there. Also, I was hoping for another Pink Floyd fight. Well, Tom is more of a Roger Waters enthusiast when it comes to the music, and for me, David Gilmour, that is Pink Floyd. That's the sound that I like to hear. Like all of the good ideas would be great, but without David Gilmour playing guitar there and being the musical backbone of that band, you don't have the music itself. And for me, what drives me first of all is music. So that's just my opinion there.
Mhm.
And then there was something else. How do I I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe this will work.
Mhm.
Okay, I live an hour outside of DC, and was there a little over a year ago. There were homeless people everywhere, and even a guy right next to the Lincoln Memorial. I believe that. I totally believe that. I think that there's no doubt. There's no doubt that there was stuff wrong there. And when I see the citizens themselves, not these weirdos that seem like they're not even from there coming to protest, but actual citizens, and all the interviews that I've seen, it's not like you see only liberal white women that they ask them what they think of the streets of DC. I saw a lot of people here that didn't even look like they were thinking politically. They're just like, we don't really care about any of that. It's cleaner now and it's safer now. And they looked like they meant it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
there's nothing to say. If you live in a place that there's just a bunch of crime all the time and you're afraid to go outside and suddenly, the National Guard rolls in and starts getting rid of everybody, they're there and taking them away and making sure everything is cleaned up and you walk around and everything feels great. It probably feels like a world of difference to those people that live there.
I would imagine. Yeah.
So yeah, and thank you very much, the Dead Man. You've been very generous today with this super chat and with the other super chats that you did. Really, really appreciate that. The Dead Man is a great friend of the channel. He's always so supportive, and I always really appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you. The Gilmore makes the sound. Gilmore makes the sound. Yeah, I mean the thing is, listen, today I think Roger Waters is just I don't like using these kind of terms, but he's past his prime. He's an old bitter man in my opinion. I'm trying to be nice. He's an old bitter man who's past his prime. This is the nicest I can be because I think the guy has gone like off the rails. And for decades he's shown that without the musical backbone of Gilmore and his band really supporting his ideas, you don't have he can't deliver the goods himself. That's the truth.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, Gilmore still releases albums. His last album. Now, I won't say to you that at 70 something years old or 80 or whatever he is now, it's not. I can't say now that it's the same as what he did 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same quality or the same energy as it was 40 or 30 even years ago. But you know what? If you put on even the latest thing he recorded and just press play, it's pleasant enough. It gives you kind of the vibe of what he knows how to do. It may not be reinventing the wheel, and he doesn't have to at his age. He has nothing to prove. Waters isn't capable of that. He got nothing for you. Since he left Pink Floyd, he's pretty much had nothing to offer you, except for going around and making friends with strange people and supporting questionable causes. Just my 2 cents, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think we went over all of that, and we did that. Now let's see what else. Did I miss anything? Any rants? Any? Tim Hayes has been a member for 8 months. I like Tim Hayes. Tim Hayes is a good guy. Also a guy that's always supportive. Texts me, DMs me about stuff. He tweets about stuff. He's always really nice, and I don't usually get a chance to compliment Tim Hayes, but thank you for what you do. I appreciate that. And Matthew Marcillo, David Gilmour is a freaking phenomenal guitarist, and he delivers musically. Yeah, I mean, it's just the sound and what he does with his guitar is so unique. I saw him recently. Maybe it was like half a year, I don't know, ago when I saw him. Maybe it was even a year ago. And even at whatever age he is now, I won't say that he's in his prime, but even wherever he's at, he still puts on a show that you enjoy. There's still he can still deliver, even though I will say that you could tell he was older this time around when I saw him. But hey, he's earned it. You know what I mean? It's fine. And I can only wish that, if I'm in my 70s and there's a stadium full of people wanting to see me perform, I could stand there for hours and perform. Also make a Rumble account. I don't know.
Oh no, yeah, Dubros was saying right before that, said, "What's up, lurkies? Click like, follow, and repost." Also,
yeah,
make a Rumble account.
of course. If you're on Rumble, because I'll tell you what, Rumble also people have it as an app. I know it because I installed it on a few of those kind of either Fire Stick or on TV or whatever it is. And if you go into Rumble, and you can just automatically look at the streams that are available. It doesn't make you sign up, so you can watch it, and that's what a lot of people do. People kind of just watch it sort of like a streamer, like Netflix. They put on the shows, they watch it. But if they actually sign up, it's free. There's a few tiers, but there's a free tier. It's totally worth it. And the best part of it is if you enjoy a stream, if you enjoy something, by following and by getting notifications, you'll know when there's another stream. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody, especially for us. And Empress NM, man, that is very, very kind of you. $20. Good evening,
Yeah,
everyone.
$20 gift from
That is
Rumble Rant
very,
for Empress NM.
very
Thank you.
kind. I'm so thankful.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
evening. Good evening to you. Also a friend of the channel, Empress NM. Thank you. It's really a very nice evening here. I feel like we're hanging out with so many great people, so many names that I see here all the time, and I'm just happy. Premium is premium. Yeah, there is premium. You can have a premium tier on Rumble, and that's totally cool as well. That cuts out, you don't have commercials, or there's a lot of things, a lot of benefits to it. There's bonus content, so that's always great. But the starting point is, if you haven't signed up, you should totally do it, and then follow us if you feel like it.
We would appreciate it. I hope you feel like giving the channel a follow. Yes.
If you feel like it, yeah. I'm no pressure on our end. But
No,
we've went
we're
over
not.
that.
No high pressure sales tactics here at Price is Reason Live Studio.
Now, just to sum up this Cracker Barrel situation, what do you think happens moving forward? Because we usually don't see, until now, we've seen these kind of situations, and the company was bullheaded, and the CEO was bullheaded. They didn't make the changes. They annoyed everybody, and then whatever operation that was, it fell apart and tanked. In this case, even though I feel like it did come a few days too late, but let's just say that they made the right choice, and they said, fine, we get it. We're not changing the logo. You're right. We're wrong. We'll stop doing whatever this is. That's a good start. The question is, are they going to stop renovating? The question is, are they now just going to find other ways to annoy their customers, or there's a real reckoning where they understand that there was something bad here and they're going to make a real change? What do you think?
You know, I'm really left kind of not really knowing what their commitment is now to all of these changes that they've talked about making. They've said, "Oh, we're backing off the logo." They haven't said they're backing off the remodels or the new looks, as far as I can tell. Uh, they haven't said they're gonna back away and bring back the more traditional menu, or that they're gonna bring back some of the more traditional cooking, preparation styles that they had in the past that were, that was really the whole thing about the Cracker Barrel was, they even had it, they talked about these scratch cooked food, right? It's like food made from scratch. It's, in the back, we don't have pallets of biscuits that got shipped in from Cisco or somebody else that we then just warm up and serve to you. They were actually like made by bakers from flour and water and all the ingredients that went into. They actually made those in the restaurant and they served them to you and they were fresh. That was kind of the whole appeal of Cracker Barrel. And if they're still going to be stepping away from that, they're still going to continue to further move away from that. I've seen reports. I've heard from people. There's some videos on YouTube talking about people who know something, a little bit behind how Cracker Barrel operates, and still know some of the people who run some of the stores and how things used to be done, where they used to cook a lot of their food like right there in the back, and they would cook it, to order, or they would cook like the biscuits. They'd make them every single day. Where now they make the biscuits on Sunday, and then they just throw them in the freezer. So the whole rest of the week, all you get is some biscuits that got warmed up in a proofing box or whatever, so that they're soft to you. So it's not the same quality of food. It's not fresh. Prices have gone up. I can't blame Cracker Barrel for the prices going up. Everybody's prices have gone up. That's just happened with inflation and everything. But it's really going to come down to us learning what kind of commitment do they have to all of these changes. Is it just the logo they're backing off of? Are they going to continue with this redesign? Or maybe there's a different redesign. Maybe they're going to try and lighten it up a little bit, but still have some of the antiques on the walls. I don't know. I don't exactly know where they're going to take this. Now, if the only thing that they're backing away from is the logo, they're still going to keep the old logo, but they're going to go ahead with all the other changes. They're still, you know, this is still bankruptcy, Chapter 11 in a in a couple of years, right? Because people have said pretty openly that the redesigns in the stores are actually the worst part. It looks like this generic, bland, awful thing that nobody is interested in visiting. It's not Cracker Barrel. It's something else, right? So we'll see over the next, couple of weeks. Probably, maybe there'll be some more statements that'll come out. We'll learn a little bit more about what exactly their plans are. If they're going to go ahead with these store renovations, make these stores look bland and generic and stupid, then yeah, they're still screwed. And we're still going to see a collapse for this business. I do know that already the news has gotten around pretty well about the logo and the menu and the changes, and a lot of Cracker Barrels, even before all of these changes have taken place, they're barren. Nobody's showing up. There are numerous videos that were going around X this weekend, going around YouTube this weekend, and other platforms, showing like driving by the Cracker Barrel during, lunchtime or during dinner time, and there's 6 cars in the parking lot.
What they needed to do was sort of work on the crowd that they had, what their crowd likes, and improve things like the food, like what you were talking about. The biscuits have to have good biscuits. You have to fix all of that. You have to wow people with food and good deals on food. That's where all of their money should have gone to. Even wowing them with special prices, with special deals, even if you're losing a bit of money to wow them and bring them back, that's where their money should have gone. Instead, they went the route of, what if we tried to find a modern audience? But I don't think they're going to find that modern audience, and I think that what they're doing was a dumb business plan. I hope for them. It's like, I actually agree with Trump. They could turn this into an opportunity if they genuinely listen and start fixing this and making their restaurant better for whatever they're known, not trying to be something else. By the way, Empress NM, I want to again thank you. I pinned this sticker here. It doesn't say the amount, but it's a $20 super chat and a Rumble rant, and I'm very, very grateful to Empress NM. So I just wanted to say that again. In addition to that, you had Sal the Hamster saying that Nerd Wars gaming channel is Spike Bat 222. I actually know for a fact that there's actually another sort of secret channel that he has in addition to this channel, but let's not confuse people. Go with Spikebat 222. That's a good channel, and you guys should definitely check it out. Erwin is a good guy and a friend of mine. Istophobos, it's been an axiom in business forever. It's cheaper to keep an existing customer than to gain a new one. It's too late. They're done. Yeah. I mean, this is it. This is going to be a curious situation because, yes, they went back and they said it, but they said it half-heartedly after their CEO was annoying and did all the usual stuff that you're not supposed to do. It's almost at the point of no return, but maybe they could still pull it off. I don't know. It's hard. It's so easy. It's difficult to build decades or many years of some kind of history with a product or a brand, but you can ruin it in about 20 seconds. That's what we've learned in recent years. So quickly you can ruin it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's something that they can fix or not.
And I'll say over on the Rumble chat we were talking, it was Elizabeth Quinn said somebody has a contract for those renovations. That's key. I was replying that yes, that as far as I understand it, that yes, part of this $700 million that they've already output for these renovations, for this redesign and everything. Part of that is the contracts that they have signed with some of these companies to move ahead with the renovations. And Elijah Fire was pointing out, said, my dad was a contractor. People change work orders all the time. That's absolutely true. That happens all the time. There's no question that you can change work orders all the time, but they still have a contract. So yes, they could change exactly what those renovations are going to be. But if there's a contract that they've signed with somebody for these redesigns, they've actually engaged someone, they've signed contracts with somebody who's going to be doing those redesigns, there's going to be some work that gets done. Now, if they change from what their current designs are, great. I hope they do. But like I said, I think the renovations are kind of sort of they're already on the hook for that, more or less. But again, this is business. Contracts can change. Contracts can be bought out. We just don't know at this point what Cracker Barrel's actual commitment is to backing away from some of this. I'll be honest with you. I think they are giving lip service to people's concerns, to people's complaints and whatever. I think what they put out today, the stuff that they put out recently, if you sort of put all of that together, I think they're just trying to get themselves out of the news so that they can move ahead with what they were planning to do in the first place. I
Well,
genuinely think that's what they want.
first of all, conceding the logo thing was still the first step of something, but E. Clay Thompson says, did Bud Light recover? The truth is they didn't really recover. And the thing
Still
is, though,
struggling.
the thing is with Bud Light, though, is that they stood their ground much longer and didn't really ever fully apologize. In this case, they came out, they said, okay, we're sorry. Oh, okay, the logo, it stays. Now, the part that's important is this kind of redesigning and all this other nonsense that they're doing. If they can I hate to say it, but I think that I don't look for people to get fired, but I think the CEO is probably not the right person here for this situation. And if they at least removed her, brought somebody else, and said, "Hey, we're going in a whole new direction. We want to listen to our customers," maybe they still have a chance. But yeah, I mean, they're in a problematic territory. I don't think people are easily going to forget. People don't usually forget, so they're not in the best position, but maybe if they act fast, maybe there's something they could still do.
Yeah. Right now, as far as the renovations, they've only done a few of these stores. So it's entirely possible that they could turn tail and they could change what they're doing here. I don't know that they are. I think a lot of what happens with these types of things is that they make a decision and then they decide, when something like this happens, all they want to do is get out of the limelight, get people to stop talking about it, and they'll say this, they'll say that, they'll use all sorts of, legalese and all sorts of, practically double speak to try and convince people that, yes, we're going to, we've heard your concerns. We're going to make changes, whatever. And then as soon as the media attention is off of them, they just push straight ahead with everything they plan to do in the first place. So again, I think we just kind of have to wait and see what their actual commitment is to listening to the customer right now. I think it's just lip service. I genuinely do.
Well, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
What was our next order of business? Not that it really mattered because we're usually. Oh, okay. Sorry, there was a super chat.
Yeah, and there was also I know it doesn't show up on our end, but we got over on Rumble, Sal the Hamster has joined us as a monthly supporter.
Oh, thank you, Sal the Hamster.
Yeah,
I really
thank you, Sal the Hamster.
Very, very nice. I think
do appreciate it.
He just also sent a Rumble rant with the information of Irwin's channel. So thank you.
Yeah. And Elijah Fire says, "Put Sydney Sweeney on a barrel, and the stonks will double."
That's their only out. That's it's funny because that's probably the only thing. If they do a campaign now where Sydney Sweeney is eating like stuff at the I don't know what, ordering country fried steak or whatever it is that you eat there, and sitting around and eating that at a Cracker Barrel, that's the only thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we mentioned that the other day. Like, just bring in Sydney Sweeney, have her eating a big old sloppy, chicken fried steak, have her a nice, real tight Cracker Barrel T-shirt on with a Cracker Barrel logo, right across her very ample.
Right, and the old one, not the new logo.
No, yeah, the old
logo.
I gotta stick with the old logo. Gotta have Uncle Herschel just stretched out just a little bit across her ample a bosom
You
there.
know, the thing is that the logo is kind of wide, so it would be a perfect fit for something
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
if
no,
you
it
think
would
about it.
fit. It would fit perfectly. Yeah.
Fit perfectly. The Dead Man says, "Price, it's on YouTube for free. I think you should be able to play the song in segments, at least to show the difference." Well, I mean, you did give a super chat, and I have to honor that. So let's see, where do I find
If
this
you
thing?
see if you can find that.
I'm gonna try to find it. Oh, wait, and we have another one from Jason
Jason
Webster.
Webster.
Yeah, let me. Okay, I know what to do.
You guys are keeping us busy tonight. We appreciate it.
I love all this busyness.
Yeah.
So we got this. I'm gonna try to switch this with that. Share this tab instead. I was trying to do something else.
Only the best technology here.
Only
at,
the best
Price of
technology.
Reason Live Studio.
We are getting better, though. You know, we do our best here. There has been worse technology than what we have here. Okay, I think I got it. So now we have the Dead Man, his super chat, and then we have Jason Webster for $5. I listen to music by Japanese bands such as Wagaki Band, Bandmade, and Fate Gear, and South Korean group Rolling Quartz. All are really talented. I believe that. I mean, I think that actually a lot of times now, these days abroad, you'll hear some band in some place you never expected that'll play rock and roll or some kind of music that they don't even play here anymore, and they'll be surprisingly good. You know, here, a lot of the good music that I think they used to make in America kind of went out of style or was pushed out for even for the wrong reasons. But I won't get into that now. But actually, other places in the world still honor it. That's why a lot of times in Latin America, they love rock and roll. They love cool, like rock and roll, heavy, hard rock, heavy
Yeah,
punk rock.
I've actually heard. I have a friend who's a rather big time heavy metal fan, and yeah, he's I've actually heard Fate Gear. Yeah, they're heavy metal. They have a female lead, and yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I mean, it's not really my particular taste in music, but good music is good music as far as I'm concerned, and I've heard some of the stuff from Fate Gear, and it's pretty solid. Yeah.
Guapolo, Guapolo, Guapalaco, Guapalaco.
Guapo Loco.
Guapo is pretty or something, or handsome or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and then Loco is
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Guapo Loco. Guapo Loco.
handsome and crazy. Okay, I got it now. Guapo Loco. Guapo Loco. That's probably how you pronounce it. I actually know a bit of Spanish, but kind of like if you spoke to a 3-year-old kid. In any case, band's main guitarist died, and they used that pepper ghost effect to bring him back to life in a concert. The pepper ghost effect? Professor?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Pepper's Ghost. It's a visual illusion that you use mirrors. They used to do it in cinema and stuff. They use that in oh gosh,
Is that why you
there's a
suddenly see
Disney.
shows where Tupac is coming out and rapping and stuff? Is that what he means? Like they brought him back as a hologram?
Those are a similar thing, but yeah, I'm trying to remember. There's a Disney attraction. Is it the haunted house that uses? Yeah, Guapo
Yeah,
Loco says Disney's haunted house. Yeah,
Guapo Loco
that
says
uses
Disney Haunted House.
Yeah, uses Pepper's ghost. Essentially, yeah, it uses mirrors, partially transparent mirrors, to take an image and make it visible where it looks like it's sort of hovering in a place that it's not. Yeah, it's a visual.
This is from the Three Amigos, though. El Guapo has a plethora. I remember that.
Yes. He's a plethora.
Wait a minute. There's a 99-cent. I'm trying to highlight it, but there's a 99-cent poop sticker from the Dead Man. But we'll get to that. And somebody said, I'm just curious. Sometimes there's strange comments. G Money, 1968. You guys are candy coating the truth. Come on. Which part did we candy coat? I feel like we candy coated nothing. There's nothing that we candy coated. What, that he died and they used Pepper Ghost? I don't really even know what that applies to. But I thought for a second when you said this is the dumbest thing. I'm embarrassed now. But when I read Guapo Loco's comment initially, I thought what he meant is that he like passed out on stage and they gave him like a spicy pepper and he woke up. But now I understand that was very stupid, and I completely didn't understand what Guapo Loco was saying. Yeah, but he does have a plethora, that's for sure. Haunted Mansion uses it in a bunch of other places. Guardians of the Galaxy ride and Rise of the Resistance, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It is one way that they do they create that hologram effect. Yeah, it's one way that they do that.
Let me try to find Free as a Bird. The Beatles. Let's see. I guess they have 225 official upgrade. Is it with the new... I don't know what to do. Okay, let's try to play it a little bit. Let's hope for the best. Let me see if I can share it.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm doing this for the dead man he asked, and the dead man's just his support here. It's you know. So that sounded pretty good. That sounded very similar.
Yeah, it's definitely a different sound than the previous.
Yeah, it sounds more polished. It sounds more polished for sure. Now, in the original recording, they had a piano that John Lennon played, and they couldn't separate it like they can today. So what they did is Paul McCartney played piano also, and they kind of played with the volume in and out with like John's piano coming in and Paul's piano coming in. They did the best they could with that, but you could tell that they were doing it. It was noticeable here, even more noticeable in Real Love. But let's see. I'm going to do stops from time to time, just probably going to get clipped anyways right now. And I'm going to tell you that I thought that this would be great, and this isn't as great as I thought it would be. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you why it's not as great. See, I explained to you, and I told you this thing where somebody's sitting in the middle of the night after drinking some alcohol and playing piano and singing into a tape recorder. It's a certain type of vibe. Because that cassette was actually not in the best quality, it almost sounded eerie. It sort of helped the situation, meaning the weird thing that happened to John's voice through that tape recorder was almost like an effect you put on a voice that makes it more haunting and eerie. And I think that by cleaning it up so much the way they tried to do here, they're taking away that eerie vibe that existed there, and you're kind of just hearing more of John's voice, and you're hearing it, like I said, probably in the middle of the night in a situation that he never in a million years thought that this would be a Beatles song. So I think that there's an advantage and disadvantage. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But let's listen to a little bit more.
Like a hummingbird I fly, there's a bird on the wing.
I mean, listen, it's still him and it's fine, but there's something about it that, I don't know, the eeriness, maybe they should have put an effect on his voice. It's fine if they wanted to clean up some of his voice, but I think an effect to make it a little more spooky or whatever it was would have helped. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to think what they did to McCartney. Like, I'm not saying that McCartney doesn't sound fine here, but until now, I'm not blown away by this for some reason. It's just going to be solos and stuff from here. I'm trying to think if maybe there's still a little bit of free at the end. You know what? I'm rather disappointed, man. I think that I don't know, with all the technology that they have today, they should have been able to do something better than this. Sometimes you just got to let something go and I think they should have.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like they've cleaned it up a lot. There's definitely, I mean, a lot of the background noise and some of the issues that they had with kind of instruments laid over each other and stuff like that is gone. Clearly, they cleaned that up, but it's not. I don't know. It's not blowing me away. It didn't blow me away the first time either. It's an
No, I
okay
mean,
song, but it's not anywhere near the top of what the Beatles were capable of.
no, okay. Let's do some order because the Phobe was saying it's not one of their best songs. Tomahawk is saying I will admit the Beatles are great. They're just not for me. The Dead Man, it sounds more clean.
Yeah.
Let's see for a second. I think it sounds more clean. Maybe I'm wrong, but Price does hate everything. First of all, I don't hate it, and I don't hate the song, but something about it. Sometimes, whatever it is that the three Beatles did then, and the way they worked, and they were still in their prime, and with Jeff Lynne, I think that they managed to somehow take that old recording and make something a bit magical out of it. It's not their best song. It wasn't then, and it isn't today. But I thought it was a very fitting, tribute to Lennon. I think that the part that people most of the time knew is that Lennon's vocal there just wasn't strong for the exact reasons I said. I for years have been saying that, and I think that at the time, because of the quality of the cassette and maybe the way they did the sound, they compensated for his kind of mumbling into a tape recorder. But now, when they cleaned it up, and they're like, here, now he's like in the room singing it to you. Well, now you notice that he's mumbling into a tape recorder. And I will say it again. If John Lennon were alive to record these tracks, even if he were alive and he went to a studio professionally, stood there with bringing his A game to the recording and recording this song, and then you had those tracks to do this song with, you'd have something good. The song would already be elevated, I'm sure of it. But when they clean it up and you're dealing with a guy that's sort of mumbling into a microphone, it's just so much more noticeable now. What I would have done was, which they didn't do, I would have still added that effect that it sounds like you're singing through a bullhorn, a little bit of distortion to his voice, given him something to compensate for the mumble. There are tricks to do that. Again, I'm not John Lennon. Nobody listens to my music and nobody cares. But I've had situations that maybe I recorded something and I thought to myself, you know what? This kind of is measly and weak. Why don't I add a little bit of that effect that you're through a bullhorn, a little bit of distortion? Sometimes that goes a long way.
Yeah. They use that all the time in Beatles tracks.
Right.
Especially
I mean,
with Lennon's.
Right,
with
they did that a
Lennon's
lot. Like think of
singing, yeah.
Tomorrow Never Knows. Use that effect. Find whatever it is that you put on Tomorrow Never Knows. Put it on this thing. Make it something that it's like he's like on a different plane singing from like the top of a mountain or whatever it is. Tomorrow Never Knows. The reason why it sounds that way is that John Lennon came to the studio one day and he told George Martin, I wanted to sound like I'm on a mountaintop and I'm singing like the Dalai Lama or something. I don't know what he told him. And he's like, I got you. No problem. And then they did that weird thing. They needed something weird. I Am the Walrus type of singing. That would have saved it. Instead, they're like, let's clean it up and make him mumble. I honestly don't really know what they were thinking. So I'm giving you my reasoning. It's not that I just hate everything. And by the way, the Beatles I absolutely do not hate. And I do like this song. So I'm coming from a place that I want this song to be good, but I don't think that they delivered. And somehow even they downgraded McCartney, and I'm not even sure how they managed to do it, but that's just my opinion. Maybe even cleaning up. I don't know what they did to McCartney, but even he sounded more. Maybe just the effect of Lennon sounding weak made him sound weak, but it was like a chain reaction. Anyhow, I think we went over that. The Dead Man, as usual, we paid attention to your super chat and we took it very seriously. Am I, Professor?
Yes. Yeah. Just
And now let's
chatting with
see. And then the Dead Man. Hold on one second. I'm just seeing if I didn't miss any other super chats. I got your poop sticker. I'm thankful for the poop sticker. I'll try to highlight that in a little bit. He used more cowbell. I mean, in this case, I am a musician. I'm not saying that I'm like world class or anybody cares about me, but I am a musician and I do like the Beatles, so all of that is good. I've also kind of recorded my own stuff and I can produce
Yeah.
stuff, so I have
Um,
some. It's something that I'm actually knowledgeable about, so I'm not just
yeah. Oh,
talking.
I absolutely love the Beatles. I remember when they came out with the expanded version of the White Album that has all of the early recordings, all of their demos and stuff that they did. God, it's fascinating to hear those songs evolve. The White Album is my favorite of everything that they've created. Everything they put together album wise. Not that any of the albums are bad. They're not. They all have a different mix of different generations of stuff they did, but the White Album had so many different sounds and experiences for you, and it was really just something incredible. But yeah, that expanded version of it that has all of those demo recordings and stuff where you can hear them playing around with different sounds and different lyrics and talking through, oh hey, well, let's do it this way, let's do it that way, or whatever. It's just absolutely fascinating. And I'm not a musician either. Just getting to hear sort of the process of them creating these songs that are so iconic is amazing.
Absolutely. The Dead Man says, "This is why I wanted Price on Mead, I guess, to argue with Tom." I don't know what Tom thinks about this version, but in any case, I'm sure at some point I'll have a chance to argue with Tom about something, but I don't know if we'll get a chance to argue about this. But Guapo Loco, true musicians. Yeah, you were talking about the flanger. Flanger is basically an effect that's even used today. I think, if I remember correctly, the way they invented it, because of John Lennon, is that a lot of times George Martin wanted him to double his tracks, sing it and then sing it again, to do like a mix of those two vocals. And this annoyed him for some reason. So sometimes he would sing it once, and I guess they found a way to use two tapes, one with a changing speed and one with the regular speed, and by putting them together, it created this flanging sound. Vaguely remember that. I could be wrong, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Anyhow, how did we even get here? Oh, the super chat. I got it. So we were talking about Cracker Barrel, and now we're at
And
the
then we were talking about the Beatles, and then we were talking about Japanese rock bands, and then we got back to the Beatles somehow.
back to the Beatles. Yes, and now Guapo Loco says that I'm
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you, El Guapo. So, in any case, uh, most
Would you
bands only make it with the help of dark shit. Well, I understand the help from other places. I think I understand what you mean. They sometimes they do recreational activities, and those things help them. And even, some of the lighter recreational activities, maybe that's not such a bad thing, the ones that are legal, but the problem is that once you get into very serious recreational activities, sometimes that's where it becomes a point of no return to a lot of these artists, which is very unfortunate. It's kind of like what
Yeah,
happened to Lane
yeah.
Staley and some of those Kurt Cobain and some of those other ones. There's no shortage of people like that. Anyhow, I don't know how we got to all of this. 7 blue sky accounts all gone. Free speech is cool. Trump is wrong on flag burning. Trump rules. That's all strange things. Blue Sky, by the way, it was supposed to be some big platform, but not as many people as you think are on that platform.
No, and there's quite a few of them with some very interesting profiles, and
Yes, some very suspicious people. I think somebody gifted some memberships
yes,
here.
Ramble on 365 gifted 5 subscriptions to Price of Reason over on Rumble. Very kind.
Oh wow! I'm trying to find. I don't have an actual. It's like I didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't really show the gift. It shows the people that got gifted to, but it doesn't really show the gift in our chats.
So you're saying that
Yeah.
I'm going to try to fix this.
Yeah, Ramble on 365. Thank you for the 5 gift subscriptions. Appreciate it.
Okay, I'm going to do this. Ramble on Okay, this is difficult, but I'm gonna do it. Ramble on 365 gifted 5 Rumble memberships. We're very, very appreciative of that. This was awesome of you. You're
Yes.
awesome, and we're posting this right here,
Yeah.
just so people can absorb some of your awesomeness.
Yes. And yes, Deadman, a lot of people over there on Blue Sky with PDF file icons in their profiles. So, yeah. Disturbing.
Yes, there's a lot of people that I guess like PDF files. But you know what I've been reading? They're like, "Oh, Threads is really picking up. Threads is picking up steam. It's doing really well."
Yeah,
I
no.
It's not. I don't know why I see these did you see these articles recently? They're like, "Do you know that Threads has doubled their subscribers? It's right on the heels of Twitter." But I don't know anybody on Threads. Like, I never see anybody there. I know that some people, maybe they're already on Instagram, maybe there's a few people that post there, but I saw an article that was claiming that every day 600 million people use X and 400 million people use Threads. And man, I don't know. It doesn't feel that way. Am I living like in an alternate reality, or it's become popular and I don't know? Do you think it's
Yeah,
possible?
I couldn't tell you. All of these statistics come directly from Meta, so I I trust Meta about as far as I could throw. Uh, about as far as I could throw them. They say that they've increased now to around 400 million users. I just don't know. I
It
really
seems
don't.
fishy. It
This
seems really
400
fishy.
million active users, up from 350 that they had in April.
It seems really, really
It's
fishy.
just not that fantastic of a platform. And what are they counting as active users? Are these people who are just cross posting from Instagram, or I don't know. I
Caleb
really
Levine
don't.
says, Serious question. What is Threads? Threads, I guess, is Mark Zuckerberg's answer to X.
Yes. It's basically just Instagram with text. That's it's just a slightly different version
I mean,
of Instagram. It's ridiculous.
I'm technically a user there, but the thing is that what am I a user? I had an Instagram and I just said, okay, I'll sign up for Threads, and I pressed a few buttons and I never went there again. I don't even know if I ever posted anything on Threads. I'm curious
Yeah.
now. I'm curious if I ever posted anything on Threads. Like, I guess I didn't think much of it, but maybe I'll pay more attention now. But I don't know. It was just strange. I read all these articles. But you know what we haven't talked about yet today? So you have this whole James Gunn situation.
Oh boy.
Now, today I was reading this article. First of all, let's take a step back. Did you see the Peacemaker premiere?
Unfortunately, yes.
I don't think we talked about it, or did you tell me? And
No. No, when did I got to talk about it. I was with Brown on Sunday, and we missed you, Bryce. But
yeah, I
we
had something going on and I
yeah, it's
couldn't make
fine.
it. But
Understood. But yeah, we got a chance to talk about it a bit there. I did not actually watch the whole thing. I didn't like the first season of Peacemaker, so I was certain I wasn't going to enjoy the new season of Peacemaker. But I did tune in for a few different stories. Obviously, there was the start of the new season. There was going to be we're going to try and figure out how they were going to retcon the stuff from the end of the previous season, which had the DCEU Justice League show up. So what were they going to do this time around? How were they going to change that? I was curious to see how they actually rolled them into the story. Basically, the only person who gets a line is Green Lantern. So, and the rest of them is just sort of there. And then, everything goes downhill from there with the whole show turning into a giant orgy. Yes. So, I'm not interested in watching any more of the show. I don't know about you.
I mean, right now, what I'm seeing is, see, what happened was Superman came out. It didn't. I still claim that it significantly underperformed below their expectations. They initially were supposed to bring it out to streaming maybe 45 days later. They suddenly rushed it out without even James Gunn knowing. They basically, or him knowing and just bullshitting us, but sorry, Sean. But in any case, they released it early. And when I saw on the charts, they were boasting how it was immediately number one. Yeah, maybe in the minute they released it, but very quickly, if you looked at those Apple charts, it was already like in sixth place. And James Gunn's whole explanation for this was supposedly is that it was so important to release Superman on demand because it was going to help Peacemaker. Very strange because Superman was supposed to be a more family friendly type of movie, whereas Peacemaker is not family friendly at all. It has, like you said, full frontal naughty scenes that would look like they came out of a late night Cinemax type of movie from
Oh
back
yeah,
in the day.
absolutely. I
It
mean,
it was 100%. It wasn't like something subtle, you know what I'm saying? This was not even just, "Oh, you see brief nudity or something." This was a lot more hardcore than anything than I can describe here, and, I don't know how, and by bringing Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl from Superman and, James Gunn's brother from Superman into this show and making them just regular characters, seemingly tying Superman with Peacemaker, I just think that's very weird because he said in interviews, James Gunn, that like Peacemaker is like the platform now that all of the DCU is being established. And I'm like, really? This is where it's being established with all these naked people? I mean, say what you want about Zack Snyder, like him or not. One of the things that the studio had an issue with him was they felt that he wasn't family friendly. He wasn't making stuff for kids. His stuff wasn't light in tone, and everything was kind of more grim and dark, and they didn't like that. But how is James Gunn a big improvement over what he did if now his connected universe introduces naked people doing naughty things? I mean, Zack Snyder had some issues, but even Zack Snyder didn't have that in his movies and shows.
yeah, like full on R-rated orgy scenes going like, wow. Okay. So this is your DCU, is it, James Gunn? Okay. Good luck appealing to the kids. You know, the families that would bring their kids out to see your movies now, because we don't know what we're getting. And
No,
the other thing was, I'll tell you, almost as egregious as the orgy scene, freaking multiverses. God damn it.
yeah.
Like, oh, we're one movie and one episode of a TV show into your DCU or whatever. Oh, I forget. We also had the stupid animated show. But we're just, we're barely getting this started, and already multiverses. Here you go. Oh,
No,
no
I
thanks.
usually, I mean, I
Ah,
usually like the work that Matt McGloin does on Cosmic Book News, but he's like Peacemaker season 2 opens strong with 22% boost in viewership. Now, I don't know. I mean, who's giving us the numbers? I guess he said it was Samba TV.
well,
I
it
it,
might have a boost. I mean, I watched the episode, and I didn't like the first seasons. I normally wouldn't have tuned in, but I did. Let's see what episode 2 looks like.
yeah, and the thing is that I could be wrong, but for some reason I recall that Samba TV is kind of I don't wanna misspeak here, but I remember back in the day when I saw something on Samba TV, it was kind of questionable. Meaning, I understand that these numbers are seemingly good, but for some reason, I think that Samba TV, I'm not suggesting that you could transfer like funds to them and they'll suddenly remember that you had a lot of viewers. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I want to
Nah,
make sure.
Samba TV has a slightly different way of gathering their viewership stuff. Essentially, they're one of these platforms that uses software that's built into TVs to watch, what people are tuning into and so on. And so they don't have quite the same way of gathering data as, say, someone like Nielsen, right? Which might be a little more statistically accurate model than what
I'm
they're
not
doing.
suggesting that they sit
But
around next to a bank account and then a wire shows up, and I want to make that clear that I didn't suggest that. Here at Price of Reason Studios, I'm not suggesting that they sit and wait for a wire and then release the numbers. And I hope you didn't think that, Professor, because I don't want to give the wrong impression.
No, I'm just saying that their model is a little bit different. So
It's a
it
strange
could mean
business model,
it's
that's
not
for sure.
it's not as it's probably not as accurate or not as easily comparable to what we would normally see with Nielsen because of the way it sort of picks and chooses, what because if you don't have the right TV or you don't have your TV connected to the internet or whatever, like then those TVs don't actually count in the way that in the way that with Nielsen, you get kind of a pretty even statistical sample from different groups. So it's yeah, Istovopoulos is saying Samba TV is very consistent. I'm sure it actually is very consistent within its own numbers. I'm simply saying how you would compare that to other numbers might be
There's
a little
another
weird.
catch here. More US households watch the first episode. The question is, okay, so more US households, but how does it reflect on worldwide? Now, I'm not claiming to be an expert, but does everybody outside of the US have access to HBO Max, or is this just an American thing?
I don't know.
Because this is US households. This is a very specific thing. It almost feels again like the domestic narrative. It's like, oh, in the US, 22% more watch the thing. Well, if let's say Superman did a bit better in the US and then everybody said it was tied to the thing, maybe you had a few extra eyeballs on it. I mean, I'm not saying the 22% is a bad increase. I'm just, there were situations where Breaking Bad built an audience from season to season, and suddenly after it was like went big on streaming, you suddenly it like quadrupled its audience. This isn't that kind of situation. This is a minor bump for the season premiere. Now, if I was the head of a network or a streaming service, it looks like a good sign. The fact that it's only focusing on US, the fact that it's Samba, which I guess Estefobos says they're stable, and I believe him. I wouldn't want to think that they got I'm sure they didn't get a wire. And then 22% US households. We'll have to see. I agree with you, Professor. We have to see. Give me another week or two of this. I wonder what the percentages will be then.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to find a lot of people turned off after the first episode. First of all, I mean, on top of all the we introduced the multiverse, we introduced these characters. They just sort of hand waved away the old DCEU and replacing it with the DCU, and then we get the orgy and everything like that. On top of all that stuff, the episode really wasn't that interesting. I didn't find it interesting. It was fairly boring. So I don't know where we're going with it. I'm not sure that there's a lot of people who are too happy with the identifying Peacemaker as being bisexual either. Like, so
I don't know. And the thing is, it wasn't even just at the naughty party at his home. Also, when he was in the car, he said something like they really wanted to make you understand that he's bi, something that didn't exist last season, and now it's suddenly a thing for no apparent reason.
Well, he'll put it in whatever. So good for him, I guess. I don't know.
So
I don't know what their point was.
Istophobo says Samba got accurate numbers about how bad D Plus was doing, and so Disney kind of screwed them by denying them advertising certification. I understand. Maybe they're right on the money. Maybe they do a great job. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that I watched it, and honestly, I didn't think that Peacemaker season 1 was the best thing in the world. I thought as something that I came with no expectations, that I kind of saw it as a side project that's not really connected to anything and nobody gives a shit about. Sorry, Sean. I thought for dumb, vulgar, and stupid thing that it is, I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. It wasn't something that I sat around and I said, this is the best thing I ever saw. I said it was okay. That's what I thought about it. Season 2 is not even okay. Like, season 2 started off not only just with that naughty naked scene, just in general, everything about it felt kind of very lackluster. Like it or not, whatever that first season did. It had a little more energy, a little more thought to it. I feel like James Gunn himself is like not on top of his game. Even for the quirky Gunn thing that he does, even in this, he didn't do it that well. At least in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And the episode starts off that they retcon the Justice League and replace them with the Justice Gang in the recap, which felt extremely lazy to me. I think that what they needed to do was they needed to actually they had the multiverse. Basically, first of all, I'm sick of multiverses, but if they already introduced the stupid multiverse, just make it so he goes between a few doors and he's suddenly in a reality now where everything's changed and the original Justice League don't exist anymore. Now it's the Justice Gang, and he has to sort of he's the only one that knows that it changed. He and us. Do you get what I'm saying? You do something
Yes.
like that. He and us know that it's changed, but there's nothing he can do because he jumped from dimension to dimension. Maybe two peacemakers that were almost in the same exact dimension ended up accidentally switching places, and there were only minor differences. And kind of a running joke in the season is how there's little differences, and he has to sort of adapt to them. That could have been interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something. You already have the multiverse there. Use that, because for me, doing the recap where they now use the Justice Gang and they're like, screw whatever you saw last time, didn't even happen. That feels like a lazy approach to fixing it.
Nope.
Do you agree that it's lazy?
Yeah, it does. It feels extremely lazy, and
Like no thought went into it.
anytime there's just this multiverse stuff. It's good. It's so lazy. It's like, well, we wrote ourselves into a corner. What do we do? Multiverse. Oh yeah, there's some multiverse. Hey, we killed off that character in that last episode, but they're a really popular character. We need to bring them back. How are we going to fix it? Oh, multiverse. Yeah, multiverse fixes everything. You can do everything you want.
Yeah, it's annoying, and
it's
the
so
thing is,
infuriating.
we're already sick of it. Like, how many multiverses have we had? I think that the humor is this show is kind of old. Like, I don't know if to say old, but it's like it's not cutting edge. It feels like maybe it could have worked 10, 15 years ago, but I don't think it's really not doesn't feel as fresh here. And at the same time, the multiverse idea has already been overplayed. So, and the final thing I'll say is, and maybe I told you this, one of the only things that I thought was pretty decent about this show, not even the dancing in the opening number, but actually the song itself, that they had this kind of old school Def Leppard type of song. I actually thought that was a pretty good song. But now they replaced it with some other schmaltzy song that's not even a fraction as decent as the previous song. So they don't even have like the catchy opening going for them.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, I never really cared for this show, so
No, it wasn't.
To me, whether it succeeds or fails, it is what it is. But we do have a couple of super chats over on YouTube that we'll need to.
We'll get to it in a second. Savobo said lazy, but it kept Gunn's wife employed, which is another thing.
Of course it did.
The truth is that if he had real integrity and he came in and he said, "Listen, I'm rebooting the whole DC brand. I'm doing everything from scratch." At that point, if he was honest about it, if he had real integrity, he needed to collect his wife and his brother, I don't know what, and tell them, "Listen, guys, maybe his brother, he can keep him as Maxwell Lord or whatever it is that he wanted. But his wife, he would say to her, listen, it's been a nice ride, but what can I do? I'm rebooting the DCU. Anything that happened until today is no longer going to be relevant. We're moving forward with a brand new slate, and you're out. I'm cashing you out, Bob." That's what he could have said to her. And then she as his loving wife would have said, "Oh, I understand, James. It's great." And that would have been the end of it. That's probably the direction he should have gone in. Instead, he's like, "I'm going to reboot everything except for my wife." That is a strange thing to do.
Yeah.
Star Trek: The Next Generation or fishing? Hard choice. Cuties bar for fishing. I like Star Trek: The Next Generation. I don't know what the question is. Cuties is a movie that's not for me. I feel like I'm not the target audience for that. Elijah Fire says, perfect wife imitation. Yes, I put a lot of work into really capturing her cadence and tone so that I would give like the perfect impression of James Gunn's wife, who sounds Elijah Fire says, I thought it was actually her. Yes, She was a guest here in the studio. She came in and did that voice, and now she's gone. Next time, maybe Marla Chernoff can ask her sister to do the voice. We can have like a special guest star. She could just imitate James Gunn. I'm sure she'd love it. In any case, yeah, I don't know. Matthew Marceau says James Gunn is like Rob Zombie. They both wives. They both have wives that cannot act for crap. You captured the essence perfectly. Well, thank you. I'll take that. In any case, yeah. So this stupid thing with his Matt McGloin with all his ads. How do I get rid of these stupid ads? It's like I can never get rid of them. Okay, here. In any case, that's what they say. It's plus 22%. We'll see what happens next time. And now you have people that are like sort of those gun shows. They're like, see, it was all part of the grand plan. That's why they had to release Superman early. You know what? I'm considering giving you some information that's almost a bit of, I won't say a scoop, but a bit of a scoop. Are you ready?
Yep.
Everybody keeps telling them what a big win it is. Big win that they rushed to release that thing, right? The VOD. The Superman VOD. That's a big win. Remember they said that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I made a video this week, and I said that even that wasn't a win. That on the charts of those kind of Apple or whatever, they ended up like in 6th place or whatever it is. Let me see right now if I can find it. Maybe they went up in the meantime, but they weren't on the up and up. Okay, I guess it now. Okay, let me explain what happened. Basically, they released it on video on demand, and after the weekend, when I took some screenshots, it was actually not doing well. On Apple, it was like in 6th place. There were other things. It was not like at the top of the charts. So what they did was they actually lowered the price of the VOD. Are you with me?
Yes. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that for you.
Yep.
Let's see if I can find it. Watch Superman. Okay, I'm going to share this with you, and maybe you'll understand what I mean. Hold on once. Okay, I'm going to share a different screen. Let's see if I can find it. So, what they have here... Trying to get rid of this video because I don't want to get any kind of issue. But basically, you can rent the movie. Do you see that it said $24.99 and now it's $19.99?
Uh-huh.
This is like 7 days after it was on. They had it for $24.99, and after like maybe it's 9 days or something. Yesterday, I put on a video and I was telling people it's $24.99, and maybe in the evening I looked and suddenly it was $19.99. I'm not saying that they saw my video and changed it. I'm not that big, but I'm just saying that it was kind of funny that I was telling people it was $24.99, and then suddenly they dropped it. And since they dropped it, I will say that on Apple, it was like in 6th place. Now I think it's like on 4th or 3rd place or something like that. So it climbed up a bit. But the fact that there was a meeting that somebody said, hey, can we maybe lower the price of this? Because people, this isn't doing as well as we thought it would. And then they lowered it. I'm just saying that generally speaking, that they didn't even keep it for 10 days, I don't know, maybe 9 days with that price, and then they dropped it. I don't think that's such a good sign that they're already doing like a bargain basement with it.
Well, it has. If I look on Apple right now, it's still showing the $29.99 price. So it was probably, some sort of temporary thing. But yeah, they obviously they wanted to push that up the charts. They wanted to get that further up there, so they lowered the price so people would start hopping in and buying it for a lower price. Right now on Apple's charts, it's at number 3, but it's being beat out by F1 and Mission Impossible.
And until yesterday, let me see for a second Apple in a second, but I'm not talking about the buy. There's buy and there's rent. What's the rent number on Apple?
$29.99.
That should be the buy. What's the
sorry, the rent number is $19.99. Yeah.
Oh, so they lowered. I am telling you that on Apple yesterday and on Amazon, it was $24.99, and all the charts it was lower than it is now. So they lowered the price to $19.99, and it went up the charts. But all that means is that they're understanding that this was such a big deal and that everybody would pay $24.99 for it. It must have not worked the way they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, Estefobos says it was number 8 for the week in VOD sales, barely top 10, and competition was all old. Yeah, them so quickly lowering the price is not the win that people think it is. People are like, look, it did so great. It helped Peacemaker. It made so good. It's making all this money. I personally think that you don't rush this movie out to streaming so quickly if you're happy with its box office. I also don't think you so quickly lowered the price of it on both major platforms when it's not doing well in the charts. If you're lowering that price, I don't think that that's a good sign either. Yes, I admit that since they lowered it, it helped their situation. But still, One Dirty Bird with a $2 Rumble rant. Got here late, but still wanted to say hey. Hey, One Dirty Bird, great to see you here. I think that there is stuff more going on YouTube that I want to. There we have. Okay, I have to. First of all, thank you to everybody for all the chats today. This is so amazing. We love having all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not the type of person that I don't bother people, but obviously any support you give a stream like this one and channel like this one and all that, it goes a long way. So it's great that you do it. I appreciate it. I try not to be like a PBS guy because when I was a kid, I'd see the people on PBS every time I'd put on. I think until today, you turn on the channel and there's some guys like, please, hey, put your hand in your wallet and please, give money and give this, and it's like, dude, just show the show. Whatever it is that was supposed to be here, just show it. Yeah, it's okay maybe once in a while to ask for a little donation, but sometimes those PBS guys are kind of greedy. And I never want to be like that. Maybe one day I will be, but I prefer not to be. But you know what I'm talking about with PBS. They're always like asking for handouts and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of I mean, there's whole memes about everything that's there. They did bits on Saturday Night Live and and so on, all about all of their little pledge drives. If if you donate this much, we depend on public support for all of, for us to continue, and you need to donate today and we'll give you this free tote bag if you Yeah, it was always something with raising funds to keep your public station on the air.
Yeah, they're always guilt tripping you. So we have ZunRJ, ZunRJ5, who I see here from time to time. So thank you for the $4.99.
Yeah, ZunRJ5's around a lot.
I always look at it and think ZunRJ because I'm thinking like energy. So it's like ZunRJ, but it's ZunRJ5. Price, what is your go-to type of guitar? Strat, Les Paul, etc. I will tell you this. I have a Strat. I have a Strat. I don't play these days as often as I'd like, but I do have a Strat. It's an American Strat, not one of those kind of Mexico, whatever it is. I actually have a back. Oh, you know what? That's not accurate. I have actually 2 backup Strats. Again, I barely play today, but I have my main Strat is like an American Strat, and I probably need to do a setup. I haven't really played that in a minute. I have 2 other ones that they're not. I have to find them. They're in some closet or some kind of storage area. There's a Mexican Strat and there's a Japanese Strat, but those would need a lot of setup and a lot of work if I really want to make them proper, in my opinion. And I don't really use them, but I do have them somewhere. But the go-to one is the American Strat. And then I have a Les Paul. And to be honest, the Les Paul I have, it's like a tribute. It's they released something, I don't know if it was in 2016 or 15 or 16, something like that. They had it that they basically made a Les Paul and it's supposed to kind of look and feel and sound like the Les Pauls you had in the 1970s. And because it was supposedly a tribute to these kind of older Les Pauls, its price, relatively speaking, was attractive compared to what maybe the full price Les Paul would be that you would buy today. And I bought it and I thought to myself, you know what? I'd love to have a Les Paul that sounds like I'm in 1970. I'd love that. And I bought it and I really, really like that guitar. It looks cool too. It looks like this kind of old school Les Paul. Really, really like it. So I have a Les Paul and a Strat. And I wish you played.
I love the look of the Les Paul. I'm not a guitarist, but the Les Paul, that look is just so iconic. I mean, Fenders, Stratocaster as well, but yeah, there's something about that Les Paul design that it's just so appealing. Yeah.
I'll show you. I think this is what I have. I'm going to show you a picture of it, of one of them, of the Les Paul one. This isn't mine, but this is what mine looks like, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it looks like mine in the picture, so I'm going to say that this is probably it. And give me 1 second. I'm going to share that with you right now, but then I'll have to go back to this other window. Okay. So this is what my Les Paul looks like.
Okay. So the gold finish.
Yes, it's like a gold top type of.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine who is a musician. He had a Les Paul with the sunburst wood finish. Gorgeous instrument.
Yeah, I like the gold kind of.
The gold, no, the gold looks great. The gold looks fantastic. It's probably the sunburst looks amazing just because you've got the wood grain there, but next to that, the gold is easily the best.
And as far as if we're already doing this, let me see if I can find the Fender American. I can't remember even the name of it. How do I call it? There's like a card. I can't explain it to you. You can change the sound configuration by placing cards. It's something that I think they did for a little bit and they stopped making it, and I can't remember the name of it. Card.
Taking a look here.
Cartridge. No, Shit, sorry, Sean.
Let's see.
There was something about changing
with cartridges.
You go back and back. I can change it to different sounds. I just can't remember what it is.
Okay, Fender. Okay, the American Deluxe Strat Plus included interchangeable personality cards for customizable guitar tone.
That's it. That's what I have.
American Deluxe Strat Plus.
I'll show you what I have right now. I believe it probably, I don't know, this doesn't exactly look like it. This is it. I found it now. This is what it looks like. Are you ready?
Yep.
This is the first time anybody's asked what guitars I have, and I'm happy to share it. I don't know if anybody cares. So this is it. They're selling this second hand. They're selling this for $1,800. It's pretty cool, actually. I got it in quite a good deal. I now feel good about myself. I actually, if I sold it now, I'd be making a profit.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not a guitar player. I've always wanted to learn. It's just something I've never really had time for. But there is something about that sunburst style, that finish, that just looks gorgeous to me. Love it. Especially the more, what do they call it? Tobacco stain or whatever, where it's much darker around the edges. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
So the personality cards is basically in back. You can open the back of it and you put different cartridges in there, and it changes the type of guitar. It's like you suddenly sound like you have a Telecaster. It's something really interesting that they tried, and then they took it away. And I think that the reason why people are willing to pay even used pretty good money for this is because it was such a temporary thing that they tried out. And over the years, I think more and more people have appreciated it. One Dirty Bird says, "My pride is one of the last handmade Takamine arc top with a clear blue finish." Nice. That sounds great. One Dirty Bird.
Yeah, my
Price.
friend who is his Stratocaster is a blue metallic.
Matthew Marcel says, "Price, you and Tom need to do a dual guitar live stream." I don't know what would happen in that. I mean, I could actually, back in the day, very very early on, when CC Karaoke invited me, and Tom was there, and we did some karaoke back in the day on CC's channel. Initially, I didn't even understand the whole idea of having these kind of backup tracks like people had. And when they said it was my turn, I'd actually hook up one of these guitars direct, like without an amp. I just hook it into the soundboard, and with no amp, I would just play the guitar and sing. It was really difficult for me because I wasn't. I don't really perform, and I don't play with bands or do any of that kind of stuff these days. It's something that I do really once in a very long while. So I wasn't in good form, and I still did that. And initially, when I started, that karaoke, each time they had me on, I'd do stuff with the guitar. Once I even did that with the piano, but it's very difficult. I'd have to quickly teach myself songs between, to prepare each for each, and I wouldn't do it in advance. I'm like, okay, I need to. How do I do this? How do I do that? It would be so stressful for me. So at the end, I just went to the thing where I sing over the playbacks. But one day, maybe I'll hook up a guitar and play.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the night owl, when the professor has fallen asleep, I'll take out a guitar and nobody will notice, and I'll play.
I will say from what I'm seeing, I was looking at some stuff about this Strat Plus with the tone cards that you could personality cards. Apparently, part of the reason this is big money is that this is really popular with session musicians because they can sit down, they can bring one instrument, and they can get 5 or 6 different sounds out of it for for doing backing tracks and stuff like that they're doing in a session. So they can show up. They only have to bring the one guitar. So that's interesting.
I could tell you a strange story about how I got this guitar, which now I feel like I got it at such a great price. I'm really I feel great about this. What happened is that I wanted a Fender Stratocaster, but at the same time, I didn't want to spend the full amount which they wanted for a Fender Stratocaster. And I thought to myself, could I get something used? What could I do? Now, I found some kind of store that had a listing somewhere. It's like a store that's kind of like those kind of Sam Ash or Guitar Center or one of those things. Maybe a smaller one, not like a chain. I don't know if they were in Tennessee or Kansas, or I don't know where they were, but they were somewhere far away from me. And they said basically, we have a guitar that somebody bought, and then you know how there's a window of within 14 days you can return it or whatever it is, like an open box. And they said somebody bought it, kept it for 2 weeks or something like that, brought it back open box. We had to accept it back, but now we have this guitar and we can't sell it full price. And it was a situation that I also did a little bit of kind of like negotiating. I think that I got it for like $700 to $750, something along those lines. That was a really good deal. And I thought to myself, oh, maybe he really played a lot during those 2 weeks and it'll look like it's in really bad shape. It looks like he didn't even touch it during those 2 weeks. It baffles me. They could have just fooled people. I'm not saying I appreciate their integrity, but if they would have told somebody, hey, this is like just a full price guitar and given it to you, I don't think you would have noticed. I don't know what they needed to do, but I think that most people would not have realized. Or, you know what I'm saying? They could have just said, "Hey, it's an open box. We'll take $100 off of it." I don't know how they agreed, how that deal took place, but I am very, very happy with the deal.
Yeah. Cool.
You know what? I am a good guitar negotiator. There aren't many things that I can say that I'm good at. I am good at guitar negotiations. I was really good at the Fender one, and quite honestly, I was good at the Gibson Les Paul as well. In both of those cases, I did a fantastic negotiation. Other instruments as well. I guess that's the one thing I'm good at. Like if I needed to do like a resume of what I'm good at, negotiating on instruments. Anyhow, I don't know how we got to all of this. People are just like, what is this guy talking about now?
We got a super chat. We got a
Oh, okay.
super chat that was asking you about your guitar from Zune RJ5, $4.99 super chat. And
Oh, and we
boy,
still have the
Zune
other.
RJ5, did you ever get your money's worth?
Oh, yes, you got your money's worth. I think
Yep.
that was the most money's worth anybody got this evening. So now there's this other thing where Jason Webster gave $2. I guess it's Australian dollars. I'm thinking.
Yeah. I think that's Australian.
It's Australian. I like Australia. I've never been there. I once wrote a TV show about Australia, even though I'd never been there. And I pitched it to a well-known Hollywood actor who said that he refused to be in it.
And he said, "You didn't have Foster's beer in here anywhere. Don't you know that Foster's is Australian for beer?"
So yeah, this is true. I did actually give it to a Hollywood person. Didn't want to do it. Long story.
And
In
his
any
name
case,
was Robot Head.
no, but I told Robot Head since I told him that he wants to know more. He wants to read the screenplay. Yeah, I'm never gonna let him read that screenplay. I think nobody's ever gonna read it.
I have actually a colleague that I work with who's from Australia, and he's from Australia. His the rest of his family is from the U.S. He came here to study and got married and everything. But yeah, it's funny. We were sitting and having a chat one day and talking about stuff. And anyway, he for some reason the conversation drifted to talking about beer, and he was laughing about how everybody thinks that everyone from Australia just is constantly drinking beer, and that everyone drinks Foster's. And just was telling me straight up, like, nobody drinks that. That is swill. Like, first of all, not everybody is constantly drinking, and second, nobody drinks Foster's. That was all marketing.
Yeah, I know that. It's not their favorite beer at all, but you know what? I'll tell you this. From time to time when I can't believe I do this, but from time to time if I'm like at Outback Steakhouse and they have Foster's, I don't
Yeah.
hate it. I understand that there's probably beers that are much, much better than that, but it's not a beer that I despise. Like if you give me Foster's, I'll probably drink it.
Australian for beer.
Those were the days, my friend, I thought would never end. Yes. In any case, WB and a gun in the wrong hands can be problematic. Yeah, I mean, I actually listen. I've said this from day one when they said that he would be in charge, and I'm saying the same thing now. He's not the right guy for the job. He's quirky and weird. He doesn't know, you know, if you're not a person that's sort of grounded and less, I don't even know how to explain it. He has a very specific, quirky and weird brand of whatever he does. Now, for some things, that quirky and weird brand is not terrible, but I don't want to see that style all the time. I don't. You can have too much of that, and I feel like too many things all based on that is too much. I don't need it all the time. And the other thing is that it doesn't you can't really apply it well to things like Superman if you're seriously doing a Superman movie. That's why I immediately brought in the Justice Gang, and he does all this dumb stuff because he's not able to be a little bit more serious. I'm not saying he needs to be serious all the time, but man, the guy can't even be a little bit serious, and I don't really like that personally. Jason Webster also says, now showing on Playboy TV, Peacemaker Season 2. If you just isolated that naughty scene in his home, that is 100% Playboy TV. If there wasn't like the goofy element to it, and you just like had a Playboy TV and like a character is walking through a home and that's what's going on there, you'd think that made sense. You'd actually be surprised that there's so many people in that scene, because usually on Playboy TV, I could be wrong on this, and I don't know if my memory serves me correctly. Maybe you see like a woman and a man, maybe two women and a man. I don't think you walk in and you see like 70 men and women or whatever happened in that scene. He went like all in. It was excessive and extreme. Like it wasn't even something, well, there's a man and a woman doing something naughty somewhere, like implied or something. This was 100% just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
felt. It felt
I'll take some people at their word. I did not watch this on on slow mo or repeat it, but someone said that there was not a single white couple in the group either. Like every single group was mixed race. Couldn't tell you if that's the case, but someone said that the other day on another stream.
I don't know, why are they talking about Raging Rhino gets forced to drink it? What does he get
Oh
forced?
no, they were laughing. They were laughing about the Fosters being in Australia. Yeah, it's like he said. Empress in him said it's like if Australians thought all Americans drank Mad Dog.
Wait,
Or-
what
or- or
Rumble
Zima.
rant? Wait, where is it? I missed something. Where's your Rumble rant?
Oh, did you miss one from Mr. Phobos?
I'm so sorry, Estephobos. I'm
Yeah,
right here. I'm
sorry.
right here, Estephobos. I apologize. Jurassic, Lilo, F1 all beat Superman, but no news articles about F1 swords or how to train your dragon flies at box office. All the news stories are about Superman. Very sus. I sense an agenda here. I agree with you. I think that it's like these reporters are sitting around and they're just sitting around and trying to find any positive angle they could say about this movie. We've seen some similar stuff with the Fantastic Four as well. They're like, "Oh, it's broken a record. It's the best movie to reach #1 after this and that happened." And I don't know what, if you don't adjust for inflation and you don't do this and you don't do that, and just in the U.S. and only in the month of July, between this week and that week, it's the #3 movie to do it. And it's like, if you got to go through all these hoops just to say that it did something, then it must not be that great. It's either you go out and you say, "Man, this is the #1 movie ever," or you should pretty much shut up. Like they're coming in with like the dumbest achievements that don't matter. They're like, it's about to outdo Superman Returns. I don't know, but it's like, listen, it's been many years since Superman Returns. Just shut up already. The thing isn't the big success that you're making it out to be. I agree 100%, Istophobos. You're absolutely right.
Oh, and you got me with your mispronunciation there.
What did I do?
You said how to drain your dragon, and so I thought.
Is that what I said? Or maybe it's the hour.
Well, at first you said how to drain it, and so I was laughing about that, just saying like, next on Playboy TV, how to drain your dragon.
Anyhow, Istophobos, I hope you saw that I saw it. I apologize. It's like LeBron James trying to convince everyone he's GOAT. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're really that good, then the results should speak for themselves. Now, if this movie would have made, let's say, what Jurassic World made in the box office, I think that articles could have been written. I still think that based on the actual numbers, even that is not the huge win that everybody would present it as. But you know what? You could say that for the first movie launching a universe and doing whatever, 800, what's Jurassic World right now? Remind me, is it already, it's Jurassic World worth the numbers. Let's see.
Looks like it's at 844.
844 is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good for the set. This was a movie that when you heard about it, you rolled your eyes. You saw the trailer, you rolled your eyes, and somehow people kind of brought themselves to the theater in one of the most unenthusiastic, like, going to the movie theaters ever, and it still got to like 804. It's going to make like 850 million. That is respectable. If Superman would have made 850 million at the box office, I think that those articles could have been written. And even though I still think that $1 billion would have been the kind of achievement it needed, 850 million wouldn't have been an embarrassment.
Not at all.
I think that would have been enough to say, okay, this is it did better than Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, even though when you adjust for inflation, it's a different story. But you could say it did better than that. It did better than let's say Matt Reeves, the Batman from a few years ago that did like 770. So you'd say, okay, this did 844, 850. Then you got something. You can say,
Yeah.
well, now we're cooking. This is a good foundation
Hell,
to launch our DCU.
if Superman had broken the 700 million, I think a lot of people would have said, okay, well, it was at the very least, it was mildly successful, probably made its money back or got awfully close to it, right? If it had gotten over that 700 number, but it didn't, and it didn't get anywhere close to it. So, oh, well, yeah, it did great domestically. Okay, well, it did great domestically. That doesn't matter. It was the best domestic. Okay, they spent too much on the damn movie, and it didn't make its money back.
Yeah,
From all the evidence we have, no matter how well it didn't make its money back. And if it had performed better, 700, if it hit 800, yeah, we would all be saying, yes, this did really well. It made its money back. It made some profit for the studio. It's a great setup for the future of DCU. It didn't get there. They rushed it to digital release. None of these are good things.
No, and they lowered the price of the release like a week after they put it up there. And I'm sure you could explain a million reasons why they did it, but I'm telling you that they lowered it. And let me try to see if I can find what it was, if I can actually find this for you. And then we'll maybe shift to something else. But I'm trying to find as icons. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I think I got it. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Price. Are you ready? He appears to have just dropped when he tried to show something. We're having some trouble on the back end tonight, so let's give that another shot, Price.
Okay. Are you ready? Can you see it?
Yes.
So it was $24.99 or $29.99 like rent or buy. That was on Prime, and it was on Apple $24.29. This was up until maybe yesterday. Like, I posted my video in the morning and I'd worked on it the night before till even a late hour. And every time I looked, it was these prices. Now, somehow, somewhere between yesterday and today, something changed. I am not saying that they sit around and watch my videos. There are, I guess, other people that probably they pay attention to their channels, I would say, likely more than mine. And I don't know who talked about what. All I know is that I was actually showing how it wasn't doing well on Apple, and I was explaining that this was a disappointment when it comes to all these charts because it's not really conquering the charts for streaming. And within 24 hours, the thing was now $19.99, and all their numbers look higher than they were. Let me see. There's one other final thing that I'll show you, and then I'll leave you alone. I think this is it. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'll try not to kick myself out of the thing. Can you see this?
Yeah.
So you could see, even in 5th place, it's not there. Let me try to downsize this for a second. So I don't know if you could see it, but Superman was in 6th place. This was yesterday. So they lowered the price and it went up to 3rd place. I'll give them credit. They lowered it and it helped them. But you know what? Them lowering the price because people aren't ordering it, it doesn't seem to be the big win these papers are describing. I don't care about the 20% in the United States that more looked at Peacemaker, because we're not even given actual international numbers. We're told this is the US. This thing with VOD being the smash hit that everybody's saying, if you have to within a week lower the price because you're in 6th place and you're trying to get to 3rd place, I just don't feel like it's a big win that they're describing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like it at all. I'm not saying this was a massive failure. I don't think you're saying that either. This was not the disaster that Fantastic Four was.
No, it wasn't. Listen, I even when I say it in my videos, when I say that it's a flop, I consider it a minor flop. When a movie flops, you'd hope that it's not like the Marvels, and I've said it in videos. It's not the Marvels, okay? It's not like the Marvels. they probably, with the marketing and the reshoots and everything, they may have dumped like $500 million in that movie. By the way, Superman may have done that as well. But the only thing is that with the Marvels, they ended up making maybe, I don't even know if they cracked 200 worldwide. It was something really embarrassing.
Oh, it was pathetic. It was like 180 or something. It was absolutely pathetic.
They lost a ton of money on that.
Yeah, they did, especially since that underwent multiple reshoots.
Disaster. One of
Yeah.
the biggest disasters probably of all time. One of the biggest box office disasters of all time compared to the money that was invested in it. Another one is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, another one that was also, but I feel like the Marvels was somehow even a bigger disaster than Dial of Destiny, which was also one of the biggest disasters because that also cost like $500 million. So, yes, Superman, I do believe that like something like 450 million after all is said and done, or 500 million was dumped into this movie. I absolutely, with the marketing and the production budget that I feel like they're not honest about, I feel that it's possible. And obviously $600 million is not going to make that back, but it's better than 180 million. It's not that kind of disaster that you're like, wow, this is like one of the biggest disasters of all time. It's not that kind of flop. But I still think that if you just look at it objectively, without it making a minimum 700 would have been that we're doing them a favor. 700, if we would have said that that's not a flop, would have meant that we're accepting all of their fishy numbers that nobody believes, and going by their numbers that nobody believes one word of what they're saying, we're accepting that they needed to make at least 700 million. Now, if we were actually looking at real numbers and using our instincts based on what we've seen from Hollywood and over the past several years, I think that they needed to make more like 800, 900 to a billion. Even I think some experts that they talked to, like that financiers said, based on what they understood, they thought that this would be like 800 to a billion dollars is what it needed to break even. Even if it was a fine, let's say we're generous, 800, even that wouldn't have been the biggest win in history. But with 800, I think you can say, listen, between the ancillary, the on demand, we beat out the previous things. We beat the Batman, where this is a whole new thing. It's on the level of like Jurassic World Rebirth, which did well this summer. You had a lot of things to say if that's what happened, but it didn't. And I still maintain that this thing, I will call it a minor flop. It's a flop, but it's not a disaster flop, but it's a flop.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it. And now the final thing, and maybe you can shed some light on this. There was this whole Gamescon thing. Do you know anything about this?
I have seen some of the different releases there. Was there some specific thing that you had seen that you were curious about? I know my son has talked nonstop about them showing off both Pokemon ZA Legend or Pokemon Legends ZA, which is the next Pokemon game that's coming to the Switch 2. I actually think it's Switch and Switch 2.
It was
And
something about an
then
immigration game or
Oh,
something.
yeah. So the other big release, at least as far as my son is concerned, is Hollow Knight Silksong. He's a huge Hollow Knight fan. He's been waiting for Silksong for years. And then there's one other one that caught my eye, which was a new game called Keeper, which has a fascinating art style, and it's made by Tim Schafer of Double Fine Productions, who has made a bunch of really amazing games in the past, including the Psychonauts franchise and some early adventure games. But yes, they featured a game called, let's see if I can pull it up here. It was called, my
Immigrant Simulator, or what was it?
Well, no. Okay. Hold on. It's not showing up in my list here. So here. Okay.
By the way, Taylor Swift is getting married to Travis Kelce.
Yes, and I wish I had put some money down on that on on one of those betting sites, because there's people who made a lot of money off of betting that he was going to
That
be
he would.
that
think
he
they
was going to
should
propose this year. So
They should do a bet of how long it's going to take before they divorce. And then she'll
I'm
write an album about how
I'm
terrible he is.
sure that will also be a betting pool fairly soon.
That's what you need to start now. Trump
It's called Take Us North. That's the name of the game. I just could not come up with it. It's getting late. So yes, there's a game called Take Us North, which the whole point of the game, literally what you do in the game price is that you are a coyote who is smuggling people across the border. And this is made out to be like that you are a humanitarian. You are doing like good work by helping get these Mexican citizens across the border illegally. So it is it's not just a pro immigration game. It's a pro illegal immigration game where you play as a coyote sneaking people across the border. So it is absolutely fascinating that this is something that not only was made, but it was basically celebrated at Gamescom. Let's see. I'm looking on X real quick to see if I can find any videos. But yeah, this is getting major support from a number of different studios out there, including Microsoft. Let's see, Grums had a post about it here. It doesn't have any video, but we can still check it out. I'll show it to you real quick. Oh, don't do this. Doesn't want to let me share my window.
Oh no.
Might have to back out and come back in. Let's see. Let's try one more time. Okay.
Okay.
Share. Click on my tab and share. It worked. Okay.
I had a good feeling about it.
First time was just was a glitch apparently. So so Microsoft funding a game called Take Us North about migrating as illegal immigrants into the US. Why are they encouraging breaking the law? The studio Anima Interactive is very woke. So here's your here's your shot of this. This is going to be 2025's Dustborn. Remember Dustborn from last year?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, that was something that they poured a bunch of money into it, and it was
a bunch of
joke.
government money got
Yeah.
poured into making it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is going to be a disaster. So, Anima Interactive is the company that's making this game. First of all, it looks like ass. I'm sorry. This whole like we're just going to cell shade everything. This is.
It looks like a much older game. It doesn't look like something new.
It looks like crap. This is the
PlayStation 2, yeah.
style that people go for now when they don't actually want to do the work to actually create a good looking game. Anima Interactive is a socially conscious indie game studio that blends art and technology to drive positive cultural impact. With video games as the largest entertainment medium in the world, we strongly believe in the immense untapped opportunity for interactive media to drive real world positive change. Okay, so they want this game to make people feel better about human trafficking? Is that what I'm getting? They want this game to drive positive social change so that people are very very pro human trafficking. Anyway, entertainment shapes culture and culture shapes society. As developers, we have a responsibility to expand perspectives. A small but mighty team of artists, storytellers, and activists, of course. You didn't even have to say it. We knew you were activists, okay? The development team behind Take Us North represents 15 countries, including Argentina, Colombia, Guatemala, Mexico, and the Netherlands, the US, the UK, and Spain. So Argentina, Colombia, Guatemala, Mexico, all countries that have you just opened asylums and sent people across the border over the past few years. Of course, we also have the Netherlands, the UK, US, and Spain. Our team is over 60% BIPOC and 60% female non-binary. Yeah, we also could have guessed that one as well. I bet I could have just plucked some numbers out of the air and gotten awful close to how much of your team was not male, and how much of them were not white. Uh, Over 60%. It's funny they say that's probably closer to 70%, I would guess. They probably have one in every, 7 people. Two out of every 10 that would even bother to try and identify as white. And I'm positive. I would put down money that anyone working on this game that is white identifies as something other than their sex at birth, so that they can have some way to claim that they are, in some way disadvantaged. This is all just so ridiculous.
Matthew Marcel says Travis and Taylor will be divorced 1 year after their wedding, and 6 months later they'll have a massive album comeback dissing him. Yeah, I absolutely see that happening.
Someone's poster that wants to know if you can play as the border patrol and try to.
I ended up, by the way, I think there was another South Park. I don't even know if we talked about it. I watched another South Park, and I struggle now to remember, but I think that they continue it in the same direction over and over again.
Yeah, it's gotten stupid. It's interesting. I was in the chat on it was WD Pro's channel the other day. They were talking about this, and in the chat we were talking about it, and then they were talking about it on the show. But the show's just not funny.
I mean,
If it were funny, okay. But part of the problem is it's clear, like they have been they have fallen to TDS now. Like every episode is about Trump.
Yeah,
And every episode is about some Trump policy.
it surprises me because they were so good for so many years at like being those people that laugh at everybody. And maybe if they would have had I agree with you. I think some of the humor this year when they're attacking him, I don't care if it's funny, but like some of the stuff felt lazy. Once in a while there's something that actually makes me laugh, but a lot of it feels lazy. And if they had a situation that during the Biden years they were ripping on him all the time, but now Trump's here, they're ripping on him, I'd say, okay, well, that's kind of what they do. I feel like they were so kind to Biden for
Oh,
years.
they didn't say a thing. And people do make excuses for that. They say, well, they only made 12 episodes the whole time that Biden was president. Because of all of the rights issues, they had only a few episodes, and then like the specials and stuff that they released a bit later. But still, like not once in any of those episodes did they ever go after Biden for being a doddering old guy who could barely remember where he is and is
It's
constantly
perfect for
sniffing
comedy.
little girls' hair.
It's
They
perfect
never
for
went over.
comedy. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
it
wanted
is.
comedy, that's all there. And the fact that they kind of, I don't care if it's the specials or whatever they did, they absolutely steered away from it. They come back here, they're like every week. Now, if they would have done one episode, then you say, well, they tried something, whatever. If occasionally there's like a little reference to it, but if this whole season is just going to be this over and over again, it just feels like it feels like they could do better. I'm not saying that. I like satire, and no matter who's in control, you should be able to make fun of whoever, and you should do it you can do it in the most vulgar and extreme way if you're a satire and parody, and absolutely they've earned the right to do that. But with all that being said, I agree with you. I think that the word here is it's felt kind of lazy. It doesn't the jokes don't land as much. They seem to be too preoccupied with it, and I don't know if to go as far as to say TDS, but I will say that I really would have liked to have seen other things from them except for this. If the whole season is going to be this, it's kind of a letdown.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sad. They just haven't I don't think I have laughed, like openly laughed once in this new season. It just hasn't been
There was a
funny.
few moments, like, I don't remember if there was this last episode or whatever that the world leaders were there and they're trying to bring him gifts. I think that I chuckled from that.
And then every one of them, but then every one of them was, "Oh, we bring you this great gift, and you do not have a tiny penis." And
Right, I
then
mean,
every last one of them said the same thing, and it's going back to the
lazy,
same joke
yes.
they've been making for the last several episodes about, "Oh, Trump's got a tiny dick." Uh, okay.
Yes, I tend to agree with you
Ah.
that they went for the same joke over and over again, and I thought at some point it's like, "Yeah, we get it." I mean, I thought that the little JD Vance thing is kind of amusing. I thought here and there there's still ideas that are funny. It's just somehow, yeah, they're spending too much time on the same joke over and over again, and one has to wonder what it is that they want. I mean, they were the ones we relied on for so many years. It's like now in 2025 they're going this route. It's so surprising. They were the only people we could count on. Like, why are they going this route now?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they have suddenly decided that the only jokes they can tell are jokes about Trump or jokes about Trump's policies. It's kind of pathetic, honestly. But
Tim Hayes, it
that's
was
all they
funny
got
that
left.
it was funny that Cartman couldn't listen to NPR. That was funny.
Okay.
And
Yeah, there were a few things here and there that got a little chuckle. You were right. The whole Fantasy Island thing where they had him they had JD Vance
JD
there
Vance was funny.
as Tattoo. Yeah, that was amusing.
That
Okay.
was amusing. There's another thing.
That was a funny joke, but
Another
yeah.
thing another thing that mildly amused me in the previous one. Listen, it's not everything is bad. Like the idea that there was that the guy kept talking to ChatGPT to fix his business and she kept agreeing with him and telling him to do stupid things. That there was some humor in that.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I couldn't laugh at, but I think that still no episode from the beginning of the season has been a slam dunk. And also, I don't remember them really taking a topic like a Trump and then episode after episode the same thing with the same jokes over and over again. It just feels if they would have done that first episode, would have said, well, they do their satire. But the fact that now this is like their main thing, it kind of feels like they're losing their focus. Let's put it that way. If I'm being kind.
Sure.
Elizabeth
I
Quinn
give you
says
that.
TDS is a form of insanity. Yes, many people
It
have it
is.
too.
Absolutely is. Yeah. There's a lot
Poker
of
Ray
people
says the Naked Gun
destroying
movie
their
was funny.
lives.
The
Yeah,
Naked
naked people.
Gun was okay. I there were a few
It's all right.
parts that I genuinely laughed, but I did feel like it I couldn't help but think of the original, and the original, even now, if you put it on, is funnier than the new one. It's just the original has, first of all, I like Liam Neeson. I think he does a good job in the movie, but Leslie Nielsen as Frank Drebin, it's perfection. And with those guys writing and directing, it's just I don't know. I can't explain it to you. It's comedy on still on another level. As okay as the new Naked Gun was,
Yeah.
original one still blows it out of the water.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But honestly, I thought for being new writers, different people behind it, new actors playing the roles for the first time. I thought they did pretty well. And yes, for the most part, the movie was pretty mid, but there were a few times when there were some genuine out loud laughs, some stuff that I thought was extremely funny. Uh, for whatever reason, the gag at the end where he's facing off with the bad guy, and then they're like going to come to a fist fight, and he actually punches him. The guy's like, "Oh my god!" like falling over dead because he actually punched him, and he's like, "That really hurt." Ah! I don't know why that got me. Why it makes me laugh so much. It's just like the guy, like he's never been hit. He doesn't know what being hit feels like, but yet he thinks he's gonna win this fist fight. And then it's like, do you want to keep fighting? No, of course I don't want to keep fighting.
Yeah, no, there were some good jokes in there. I mean, listen, I enjoyed myself, and I'm happy I saw it in the theater because people were in a kind of festive mood, and I support that they even try to make a comedy. I like all of that stuff. I don't even think it's doing that well in the box office, but
No.
I still rather enjoyed it.
I think they're rushing that to digital too, because
Yeah, maybe
it's
it'll be
kind of
okay.
dropped off at the box office. Which honestly, I predicted that. Even though I did kind of enjoy the movie, I took my son. We had some fun watching it, but I predicted that it probably was not going to do well in the box office because people just simply don't. Tickets cost too much to go to the movies, and a comedy, especially today, is a big gamble. You know, like it could be good, it could suck, and spending money on on a ticket to go see a comedy, it's just it's too much, right? People want to watch comedies, they watch them on Netflix. They watch Happy Gilmore too, right? And it didn't cost them anything more than their Netflix subscription, and they get to split that cost out over a lot of different things that they watch. They're just I don't think people were ever gonna go to the theaters in droves to see Naked Gun. So, hopefully hopefully they'll make good money when it comes to, streaming rights and, sales,
Well,
digitally, but
it says that their reported budget is 42 million. I'm sure that there was additional money that went into different things.
yeah.
It's currently at 87 million worldwide. It's
So that's
it
yeah, that's they're getting close to,
probably if it would have
making their
made
budget, and then, yeah, they'll need a little bit more to make back their
it
marketing, but
if they would have made like $100 million, I think that they could have called this a win. With $87 million, it probably is a bit of a disappointment for them. I
yeah.
will say though, as opposed to these kind of movies where you're like they spent $500 million on it, on a movie like this, you can make the money back on streaming. Not only can you make it back on streaming, over the years it's going to be in the red. It's close enough now. They'll leave it here for another weekend, another week, whatever it is. It'll get to 90 something million. They'll do some kind of streaming deal. First of all, they'll do on demand and make some money. They'll do some kind of streaming deal. They're not gonna lose money, okay? And they didn't spend so much, relatively speaking, and it's not gonna be a huge loss for them. At the same time, I'm also pretty sure they're not like popping champagne now, like congratulating each other on some big win. But if nothing else, it's not a disaster either. It's just kind of a wash.
Mhm. Yep. I think they'll probably in the end after, streaming rights and stuff like that, they'll probably end up pulling a profit in. 42, you said? That's that's not an out
42, yeah,
that's
I
not an
mean,
outrageous budget, and I don't think they broke the bank on marketing
no, I don't
for it
think they
either.
did. I think that they treated this as a movie that they knew was not like it wasn't like Fantastic Four or Superman or anything like that. They knew this was a more kind of rated R niche movie, and they priced it at the right price. I think that budget was fair. I think at the end of the day, it's going to end its run with 90 something million, short of maybe the 100 they needed to crack it. The on demand initially will help them get past the 100, and I think that at that point they will have covered their
Yeah.
expenses. Then when it comes to
Yeah, and
streaming service,
they've got some good I think they've got some good word of mouth that's going to give them, some real, chops for negotiating, streaming rights for this, and they'll get some good, solid money for streaming rights for the film. So I think in the end, probably gonna come out on the plus side for the budget, and maybe not at the box office alone, but I think in the end they're probably gonna come out
Matthew
looking
Marceau
good.
was very surprised how funny Liam Neeson was in Naked Gun. Of course, nobody could replace Nose Nielsen. That's true. Blazing Saddles would never get done today. Sal the Hamster. The original was funnier, but the dog was funny. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anyhow, I think that we're starting to wrap up our show, no?
Yeah, I think we're just about done here. So let's say thank you. Say recognize some people who are in the chat with us tonight. Obviously, we had quite a few people who were joining us over on Rumble since we getting featured tonight, which was fantastic. But let's here. Let me share some Rumble names with you so that you can shout those out. got quite a few tonight, so there's part of them. And there's
Sent
the
'em?
rest. Should be there in the private chat, and
Okay.
then I'll work on the YouTube ones here.
Okay, so Istophobos, this is on the Rumble side. Istophobos, Drunk Skeeter Pilot, Reach'em 842, Elizabeth Quince, Empress NM, who sent a very nice super chat. Thank you. Rodney Barry, Rambleon 365, who I believe got 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for that. Pure blood based berserker, the anti-pop, Susan Grimm 0828, Sal the hamster. Sal the hamster also did a Rumble rant. Thank you. Derek Shields, Deconstruct, Devon Phoenix, Connie 826, Lord Ganon. Is that like Ganon from Zelda?
Zelda, yeah.
I didn't know you spelled it that way. I thought it was without an H.
Well,
Anyhow.
they changed spelling a little bit here.
Maybe they did. Then Animals 008, Elijah Fire, Dude Brosef 420. Hey, cheers, Dude Brosef. PR Designer 02, Techno Art Angel, Guapoloco, Uchminid.
Sure.
This is a person that really didn't want me to be able to pronounce it. Uchminid. I'm going to go with that.
It's probably Welsh. It's probably pronounced
be.
Mohukanid or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's
His
Welsh.
name is probably like
Yeah.
Owen. Uchminid.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's probably
Tim M. Hayes. How's it going,
Dave.
Tim? Tim's a friend of the channel. Kiramis G Money 1968. Geo Meiser. One Dirty Bird also gave us a Rumble rant. Goth Conservative, California 100, Tronstar 007, K Burton 1, Mr. Gruffy, Twizzle Pop. And of course, if you haven't yet, also Peg Leg de Pace. And if you haven't yet signed up for Rumble, which you definitely should, if you're on the app, you haven't signed up for Rumble, you should do it. You can do it for free and also follow us. And if you're on another platform, also subscribe or do whatever you need to do and like and engage. All of that is good stuff.
Yeah.
Professor, you have
and we
some
had
YouTube people?
some fabulous Rumble rants. We got some new members hanging out over there thanks to some memberships out there for our radio streamer. We got a few others. Sal the hamster joined. Super cool and awesome for all of you to hang out with us tonight. Over on YouTube, again, we had a whole bunch of super chats tonight, which was fantastic. Some poop stickers and whatnot, and some great feedback from the chat. But we had joining us tonight, FKHC 2005, Samsung, Eclay Thomason, Yitis, Istphobos, Caleb Levine, Tomahawk 511, Tim Hayes, The Dead Man, Jonathan Conroy, Jason Webster, Duke Amps Rook, Dutch Amps Rook, Duchamps Rook. I don't know. Who knows? Could be any of those. Amelia Padilla, Marla Sharondoff, Kendrick Lama, Fook NMK, Phantom Outsider, K Roberts, C Luster, Sean Green, Mark S47, Matthew Marcillo, Empress NM, Mooley Porchers, Granola Grin, Isaac 556 X45, Valiant Goat, Seabrew 1138, Irwin Cinchin Potato, Alec Baldwin's Finger. Good to see you both here tonight. Appreciate the raid earlier this evening as well. Ace Hanlon, Zunar J5, Badfoot, Stephen Mack, Keely Chow, Superior Nav, and Poker Ace 6666.
Well, that's wonderful, Professor. Before you go, is there anything you wanted to plug?
No, I mean, obviously, I would love to see everybody back here on Thursday. So come back, visit us again, 11:45 Eastern on Thursday for another episode of the Night Owl. And then yes, I will be over on the so late over on B-roll stage on Friday evening, doing a little live riffing on a film, and that's B-roll stage on both YouTube and on Rumble. So yeah, I'll make sure to pop the links in there on Thursday.
Cool. So yeah, you should definitely do everything the professor said, and I think that at this wonderful moment where we're both kind of tired,
Yeah.
we can sign off now.
Again, great seeing everyone here tonight. If you haven't taken this opportunity, give us a follow over on Rumble. Interact with the stream after the fact. Leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, something like that over on YouTube, and we would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye bye.